Live and direct, man. Pat McClain, and it's going down, man. Solo TWA.
What's up, man? Shout out to Miami Sports Music.
Hey. It's the new anthem for the new era. Fins up.
Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit.
It's the new era and we back up in the mix.
Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit.
It's the new era and we back up in the mix.
Throw it up. Throw your foe up in the sky. Throw it up. Let them know that we gon' ride. Where you from? We be reppin' worldwide.
DWA, stay loyal till we die.
But it's the come up. We been down for a minute. This the come up. We been reppin' that consistent. This the come up. Now the world gotta feel it. Reppin' so loud, whole world gotta hear it.
New era.
Dolphins on the cliz out. Tick, tiz out. Till we reach the tiz out. This a never stiz out. Reppin' till we drizz out. So low D, I be rapping with this hip hop. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit.
It's the new era and we back up in the mix.
Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit.
It's the new era and we back up in the mix.
It's the new era and we back up in the mix. Ain't no more relying on fits. It's time for Tua to get us lit. That's why we got Waddle at 6 and Jalen Phillips is a brick at 36. We got Javon Hollins, Madden hit stick. Eichenberg protecting hips. 2 whole years and he ain't slipped. Run along, he got that gritter, triple threat, he so legit. Ronald Coleman, Jared Dokes, the 7th round was such a gift. That's why we toast, that's why we sip, that's why we reppin' MSM. Miami sports music, don't confuse it, don't abuse it. Unless you want a new contusion, real talk, ain't no illusion. Solo D started a movement, MSM the institution. TD Fins the contributor.
Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit.
It's the new era and we back up in the mix.
Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit.
It's the new era and we back up in the mix.
MIAMIDOLPHINs. When do I begin? I've been rapping since a kid. If you rapping, then we can.
DWA, if you reppin', then we can.
Welcome to Percival. We asking what would Shula do? He would take the narrative and spin it like a hula hoop. He say let it Coach Flow. Coach Flow gon' do his thing and he gon' bring it to it in and to it. Come and change the game. Watch the squad ball out. Got the fans all excited. Coolers out. Grills on. Got the tailgate ignited. It's the Aqua Horse Society. They know we stay united. DWA. We be down to start a riot. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit. Throw them fins up.
It's the new era and we back up in the mix.
Who that?
So low, so low, so low.
Try to tell. You feel me? But that's how we put it down. We put it down every time when it's time to show up for the fans. We out here. You dig?
They know it's coming. Yeah.
We out here with it, man. Let's go. DWA, man.
Hard times, can't stop me cause I'm all grind, can't block me cause I'm gon' shine, do the greatest shit of all time, I'm feeling like I'm Shula, play perfect like I'm Shula, put working like I'm Shula, undefeated like I'm Shula, play perfect like I'm strategize, stay corporate with a savage side, it ain't about winning, it can't have my time, I got no time, I only focus on the bottom line, I gotta grind, strategize, stay corporate with a savage side, it ain't about winning, it can't have my time, I got no time, I only focus on the bottom line. I gotta grind like Shula, playing for perfection like Shula, running with the winners, no losers. We are not the same, don't confuse us. We are not the same, don't confuse us. Playing for perfection like Shula, running with the winners, no losers. We are not the same, don't confuse us. Don't confuse us. Hard times, can't stop me cause I'm all grind, can't block me cause I'm gon' shine, do the greatest shit of all time, I'm feeling like I'm Shula, play perfect like I'm Shula, put working like I'm Shula, undefeated like I'm Shula, play perfect like I'm Shula. Hard times, can't stop me cause I'm all grind, can't block me cause I'm gon' shine, do the greatest shit of all time, I'm feeling like I'm Shula, play perfect like I'm Shula, put working like I'm Shula, undefeated like I'm Shula, play perfect like I'm Shula. Who that? So low. So low. Rest in peace, Don Shula. Still perfect.
Hey guys, I'm Danny Johnson, CEO at TPP, The Positive Porpoise.
I'm Jason Miller from Fins Up SoCal Fan Club.
I'm Scott Howell from Atlanta Dolphin Club.
Mark Angelo, NorCal Dolphin Club.
And you're listening to Clock Blockers, Miami fans' #1 morning show.
Run it.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, Stephen D, and we are live on this beautiful, wonderful January 13th. It is Throwback Thursday in the building. I'm your host, Stephen D, right here on Clock Blockers, home of the #1 Miami fan morning show. Good morning to my Fins family and my Fin-laws. Just want to say hello. How y'all beautiful people doing this morning? Want to say hello to people in the chat. Let's see here. I got Big Taz, Andravius, Vaughn 954, Caddyshack, Sway, Trucker Sean, Cooler Commentary. 1, 2, 3, 4, Epps, Estefan. Who else? Shake Money is in the building. God Soldier is in the building. Hurricane Grind Mode, Dale CWO. What is up, man? Let's see here. Who else I got up in here this morning? I don't want to forget anybody who's already said hello in the chat. If I forget you, I apologize. Cruz Ruiz. What is up, Cruz? Who else I have in here? Alexander Diaz. Larry Fins fan panel is in the building. What's up, Larry? What's up, man? Who else I see? D-Dub. OD Triple OG. OG D-Dub. I don't know what if he can get on here or not, but if he can, that's great. Let me see. I'm actually, if OG can, if you can't, I understand, because I think you're still in South Carolina, man. But just know my hearts and my prayers and my family is with you and your family, and I love you, D-Dub. Let's see here. Hurricane Grind Mode. Who else I have in here? I think that's it. I think I got everybody. If I missed your Bones, what up, Bones? Omar, what's up, Omar and Tyrone? Hit that like button if you haven't done so already, everybody. Hit that like button on your way in, and also subscribe to the channel. If you go on Twitter right now, you know my Twitter handle is at Stephen D SKPL. Excuse me. Where's it at? There we go. At Stephen D SKPL. And I've already shared the link for today's show. If you go on Twitter right now and you haven't added me as a friend, add me as a friend, but also let people know, hey, look, there's this cool show. It's called Clock Blockers. It's really awesome. You guys should go share it. So, yeah, make sure you guys go do that. All right. What else have I forgot this morning? Oh, yeah. Hey, look, if you haven't signed up, become a member today. Sign up, become a member. There's plenty of seats at the table waiting for you. Okay. We want to see you become part of the family. I want the family to grow. So look here. I see Tyrone, Color, Omar, EM Baller, Jose, Emmanuel, Frank. You guys haven't signed up. Sign up and become a member. The link is in the description below for you to join. There's plenty of seats at the table for you to become part of the, everybody ready? Family. Just for those of you who don't know or don't watch the show, that's my Vin Diesel Fast and Furious impression. Family. Okay? I want you to become part of the family. So sign up right now. Become a member today. There's plenty of seats at the table. You guys are helping build up an amazing setup here that we have here at the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. All right. Hey, look, if you want to donate to the channel, help the channel grow, you guys can do that one of three ways. The YouTube Live Super Chat, which is the $ down at the bottom of the chat. Or you guys can use PayPal or Cash App, which is always recommended to use PayPal or Cash App. Honestly, because they have less fees. YouTube takes out like 40%. But any way you guys donate is great. Just know that anything you give, even if it's $1, goes such a long way into helping the channel grow. And it's greatly, greatly appreciated. And I really appreciate any time anybody donates. So if you want the links to the PayPal and Cash App, they are in the link in the description, or they're in the description below in links. So make sure you guys check that out. Want to give a big shout out to our sponsor, Tail Greeter. Look, the party doesn't stop. There's a lot of Super Bowl stuff and playoffs, and I know we're not in it, but if you're around the country and you want to go hang out and have a good time, go to tailgreeter.com today or download the app or follow Tailgreeter on social media at Tailgreeter and follow those guys out. They're absolutely amazing over there at Tailgreeter. We love them. We love them. Okay, let's see here. Today, I decided to have a there's a movie on HBO that's like a precursor to The Sopranos called The Many Saints of Newark. Who made Tony Soprano? I always say Tony Sperano. Who made Tony Soprano? So I decided to do my own little version of it for Throwback Thursday called The Many Coaches of Miami. Who made Don Shula? Little play on movies there. I hope you guys like that. I like the movie thing. As you can see here, there's plenty of people in here. We got Dave Wanstedt, Nick Saban, Tony Sperano, Joe Philbin, Adam Gase, Cam Cameron, Jim Bates, Dan Campbell, Todd Bowles, and Coach Brian Flores. Just a lot of different coaches. A lot of different head coaches, and they all have come since the year 2000. So this has been, we're in 2022 now. This has been 22, we're working on 22 years of coaches. 22 years of coaches. And I don't know about y'all, but that's one coach too many for that long a time. It's just a lot. And so, you know, what I wanted to do today is everybody's talking about where we're headed. And that's fine as my microphone comes undone there. And that's fine. And we're going to get into that too. Don't get me wrong on this channel. But I feel like in order to know where we're going, we have to know where we've been. And so I'm going to see if I can bring D-Dub, because he usually does Throwback Thursday with me here. Let me see if I can bring my man D-Dub in. D-Dub, what's up, man?
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Are you in South Carolina? Are you in South Carolina?
I'm in South Carolina. That's why you don't see any snow or the breeze moving past with the wind chill. It is South Carolina. I'm here. I'm just outside right at this second.
Hey, look, for those of you who don't know, D-Dub has been around since like day one. He's one of my favorite, amazing listeners, and he's a big part of this show and a big part of the Miami sports music brand. And he usually does Throwback Thursday with me. And to not get all in his personal life, but he lives in Ohio. He's been staying with family, helping family out in South Carolina. So if you get disconnected, D-Dub, we're still here. We're not going anywhere.
All right.
But
All right.
Before I guess I get started, because I haven't had a chance to ask you this yet, and I just want to get your thoughts before we get into Throwback Thursday. What are your thoughts about this year, man? How it ended, how it all went down, Coach Flores firing, all of it. I just want to get your thoughts.
Okay. It was a roller coaster ride because, yes, Flores, the first half of the season, and the staff and Tua and Greer, they all deserve to get cut after 1-7. They all deserve to get cut. And then we had the roller coaster ride up to 8 out of 9.
Yep.
And I thought that everybody except one should be back for 2022.
And who was that?
Now, that would be Tua.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but the guy failed his sophomore final exam with Tennessee, and there was no getting it back. Okay, but all that being said, I've seen empires toppled. Shula got toppled.
Yep.
Because he didn't put together the right staff. You know, when I look back 20-some years ago, we'll just hopefully.
I was about to say we're gonna go into each coach. We're gonna go into each coach.
But I feel as though Stephen Ross failed again at being a football owner leader.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you have problems with your organization, rather than sitting back until the end of the year to get a synopsis, a summary of what happened, why weren't you there? Or why didn't you have one of your many famous co-owners observe what was going on and make reports and make suggestions, alternate courses of action to be able to fix the relationship? Because we just had to force a coach out who was still learning. And everybody who wants to give Tua, oh, he's still learning, he's still developing. Well, this coach is still developing his skill sets.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be shameful to watch him perfect his craft and go and win big someplace else. That's my point. We went through, or I went through, because most of the current fan base didn't have this, where I watched Shula go below 500 in some years and still keep his job. Okay? To where we had somebody who won 2 seasons in a row, winning records, and we let him go. And I know about, maybe he didn't foster the greatest relationship with Tua. I know about the fact that he may have, listened to other places that things were done. Relationships not developed or had a rough edge to them. I understand that. But this is when you get into mentorship, and this is where you, as an owner, if Caldwell left because he said, "Oh, I'm out of here. I don't like Flores," then you should have spoken up then and said, "Hey, maybe a little too abrasive at this point in time. Maybe tone it down a little bit with respect to the staff. Because in game, I don't want to hear about, he's abrasive. Because you're in the moment. I don't want to use the word battle, but you're in the moment at this time.
I understand that. Yeah.
And what spits out of your mouth at that point in time, hey, that could be chalked up with emotion and passion of the game. But to as an owner, allow one of your chief organizational pieces to not develop or not be as smooth as he possibly could, and you allow that to happen for 2-3 years, that's ownership failure. Now, we can't fire the owner, but doggone it, you need to make your points known to ownership. And if Flores got fired, then Greer needed to go as well. I'm sorry. I'm tired of watching.
You're not the only person to think that. You're not the only person to think that. There's a big majority. I don't know if majority of the fan base, but there's a portion of the fan base that agrees that is the case. That if you're going to let him go, you need to just let everybody go. My problem with letting everybody go is then you start on this rampage. You start on this. I don't want to say crusade, but you start. Okay, now we got to hit the whole reset button. I think it depends on who you bring in. I truly do. I think depending on the head coach you bring in depends on how this rebuild, and I put that in quotation, goes. Would you agree with that?
If it was one coach or even two coaches that this type of pattern of fire one, keep the other occurred and it maybe was successful, I would say, okay. But we've gone through probably 6 or 7 regimes where one got fired and the other one stayed.
Yep, you're 100% spot on about that.
And so this is, the coach and the GM are to me, in my opinion, attached at the hip, basically. You have a plan, you develop players, you pick players, you coach them up, and if it works, fine. If it don't, then you can't bring somebody else in and then try to augment your plan. I mean, it's and the fact that you've got history showing for the last maybe 8 years that this doesn't work. This hasn't worked, this method. And you keep replacing a GM, keeping the coach, replacing the coach, keep the GM. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. That's what I'm so disappointed about, because you're expecting different results from the same procedure.
Definition of insanity. Definition of insanity, D-Dub.
I didn't want to say it that way, because everybody hears that phrase, but I figured if I said it a different way, maybe the organization would hear it. And I thought Greer was doing, and don't get me wrong, I liked some of the things that Greer did.
Yeah.
I did. And Pete and I have had conversations in chats where I've said, Pete, Greer is good. Greer could stay.
Yeah.
But with this situation, the way it went down, nah, I'm sorry. And then what about Tua? I mean, now he's probably going to get a new coach. Well, he's definitely getting a new coach. Is he going to progress? Is he going to be able to handle a new playbook if a coach brings in a new playbook?
That I get too, right? So look, I want to get into all that because you bring up a lot of great points. Today is Throwback Thursday here on Clock Blockers. I'm your host, Stephen D. Alongside me each and every Thursday, as often as possible, D-Dub, the OG, triple OG, is with me for Throwback Thursday because this man has seen all, done all, and been all. He's just a little well-seasoned, right? Just a little well-seasoned, right? That's the way we're going to say it.
Yes.
A little bit of seasoning. A little bit of seasoning, D-Dub. Look at that.
See that salt
Little salt and pepper right there. Little salt and pepper.
Little seasoning.
So what I wanted to do today is I think part of being part of the Dolphins' problem is not learning from their mistakes, correct? And I think what I wanted to do today for Throwback Thursday, because we don't have a game, so it's not like we can talk about an opponent. Well, why don't we look into our own past? And let's look at the past Miami Dolphins head coaches, the many coaches of Miami, and let's see who made Don Shula, and what do we need to do to get on the right path. You ready? You ready for this history time machine we're about to go back?
I'm ready. I got all my Austin Powers bell bottoms and my platform shoes and my Afro pick.
The Miami Dolphins were established in 1966, a part of the American Football League, the AFL. And at that time, a gentleman by the name of George Wilson came in and was the first head coach for them. He played at Northwestern, but he also was the coach of the Detroit Lions, I think, for a while too. His record from 1966 to 1969 was 15-39. No winning seasons, I believe, the whole time he was here. And coached a total of 56 games. So in 56 games, he won 15 times. But it was the beginning. It was a brand new franchise. I really don't think that really set the mold anything. There's no need to really talk about him. And I want to touch on Don Shula, but ultimately come back to it. Then we go to Don Shula. Don Shula came in 1970 and coached till 1995. Arguably the greatest head coach of all time. The most wins of all time. He coached in 392 games with 257 wins for a winning percentage of 658. He was 31-17. He coached 31 times in the playoffs for a 17-4. He had 2 Super Bowls in that time for the Miami Dolphins, 1972 and 1973 wins as far as that's concerned, but did go to 5 Super Bowls his entire tenure, the last one coming in 1984, which was the Dan Marino Super Bowl against the 49ers, 11 AFC East championships from 71 to 94, 19 playoff berths, and 2 head coaches of the year, which is very interesting as long as he was only head coach of the year twice. And that was in 1970 and 1972, obviously being there. Let's just briefly touch on Don Shula. Why was Don Shula great, D-Dub? What made him great? And we'll get into the downfall in a second, but what made him great?
Okay. First of all, he came in with experience. Okay. After,
coached the Baltimore Colts in Super Bowl
III. He coached the Baltimore Colts.
Yep.
and dealt with a very hands-on-y, megalomaniac type of owner at Baltimore with Irsay. So you already have a much more developed product than was ever in Miami since. And that's one of the reasons why the fan base was spoiled with Shula. And he was a much more ready to win product than any of the other coaches besides maybe Jimmy. And there's some things about Jimmy that we can discuss as well, but probably the 2 of them were the 2 most ready, hit the ground running, able to win coaches that the Dolphins have had.
Correct.
And he also was able to pick a great staff that he gave autonomy to, but at the same time held them accountable. There have been times that you see that you look and you see discussions, and I put that in air quotes, discussions on the sidelines between Shula and a coach. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
It happens. But you work around it, you work through it, you work over it, you hash it out, you mash it out, and you come up with some moonshine rather than just some mess.
I think there's two things that you're saying that I think are really important. Number one, Don Shula coached somewhere else and ultimately failed there before he came to Miami. I think that's very important to know, especially going into our current head coaching search, correct? And I think the other thing that I find very interesting too, and by the way, I want to remember another head coach that is considered arguably one of the greatest, and we all hate him here. I get it, and Belichick started somewhere else, Cleveland, and failed there, and then went to New England and succeeded. So I think there's something to be said of these great coaches not doing it somewhere else, learning from their mistakes there, and not repeating those same mistakes in their next destination. I think that's one. The second thing that I thought you brought up, which was very important, and I actually think Shula might have had a problem with this in his later years, but we're not there yet. But in the beginning, he brought in the best coaches because I think he had the success in Baltimore, the semi-success, excuse me, and people wanted to coach with him. And when he had what he had, to be able to turn that franchise around in all of 2 years, from 69 to, they were in the Super Bowl within 2 years of them taking over. So it wasn't a big turnaround. They went from last place in the league to the Super Bowl within 2 years. So I think part of that is, Shula knew what it took to win, and he got those people in the locker room.
Well, and
he got those people in his coaching staff.
Yes, and you remember you mentioned failed with Baltimore. Shula won the NFL championship, the team, and he went 13-1. 13-1 in a season. Now, I know some people don't realize, yes, there were 14-game seasons. So all these records
back then that's what it was.
It was 14 games.
Yeah.
It was 14 games. But he managed egos with Unitas. He managed egos with Tom Maddie. He managed egos.
I know Tom. I knew Tom Maddie personally. Rest in peace, Tom Maddie. He was a character.
Yes. So again, you talk about, oh well, Flores didn't manage X right. He didn't manage Tua right. He didn't manage this thing. Again, you dealing with somebody who was doing it for the first time. And I know we segued away for a hot second, but just to prove a point, you have to get experience. And Shula was young at Baltimore. He was one of the youngest coaches in the NFL at that point in time. So, of course you're gonna make your mistakes, and he learned from them, and he was successful. Luckily for the Dolphins, after Club Wilson failed, and I say Club Wilson, I'm talking about the previous coach, where a lot of the players just felt as though, oh, this was a resort to come to Miami and play.
Well, you got to remember back in 1966, the Dolphins were an expansion franchise in a league that was probably figuring out if they could compete with the NFL at that time. And you got to understand where that's coming from, correct? And so
yes,
it was a totally different world of football then.
Yes, and you look at, you compare the quality of the roster through these different expansion. At that point in time, the league or the teams put on their oldest players or their dregs in the expansion pools. It wasn't where you could have
You
the
had
success
protected
that Carolina.
players. Yep,
Right.
you
You
had
didn't
if
have
you look
all
at
of that.
Jacksonville and Carolina when they first came into the league, they had successes right out the doors because they were able to take quality players. And the good thing about those, situations, at least those first 2 years, but the moment that went over, we saw what happened with Carolina. We saw what happened with Jacksonville after their like early success. All right, let's talk about something else real quick. So we get into Don Shula. The other thing that I think made Don Shula great was him being able to deal with personalities, because Manny Fernandez of that no-name defense, Larry Zonka, Mercury Morris, they all had egos. They all had, big, amazing personalities. And I think that the one thing that Shula was able to do above all else was, A, command respect in a room, right? Command respect when he walked into a room and understand that, hey, when we're here to work. And everybody was on that same page. I think in the world that we live in now, with NFL football players being millionaires and making more money than a coach, I think it's very tough for a coach to walk into a room and demand respect, i.e. what we saw with Brian Flores. Flores could not just walk into a room and command respect, nor did he have a track record to have that. He had to prove that why he was on the job. So I think, again, and we're going to go kind of back and forth, it makes me more and more convinced that what the Dolphins need heading into the future is a quarterback with coaching experience, that when he walks into the room, there's already going to be a little bit of respect. And I think that that's a big deal. So I think that's part of the reason that Shula was successful. Would you agree with that statement, D-Dub, that he knew how to handle big personalities like Manny Fernandez, Larry Zonka, and Mercury Morris?
He knew how to handle them, but he also all of that is true. But he also he focused no matter what their personalities were, he focused their disdain for him, okay, because he worked them.
They didn't like him. They said they talked about him.
Yeah, he worked that team like.
That's when you were able to have 4 days, 3 days.
There you go.
Days.
There you go. There you go. He worked them like in the biblical sense, like Hebrew slaves making bricks without straw. So
I don't know that saying, D-Dub. I am not old enough for that saying.
No, that's not. You don't have to be old enough. You just have to know a Bible.
I know the Bible. I ain't never heard of that.
Yeah, well, Pharaoh said, you want to have your leader, okay? Well, go out there and make bricks without straw.
I love it, man. So, all right, so let's kind of segue into the downfall of Shula. Shula is great in the 70s and early 80s. Yeah. He won in the early 70s. We get into the early 80s. He had good teams. We went to the Super Bowl with David Woodley in 82. And, couldn't quite beat Washington. They had John Riggins, wasn't able to kind of stop the run in that game. And then you go into 84, you have Dan Marino, you have this up-and-coming young talent, and couldn't get over the hump that was the San Francisco 49ers. And then the Dolphins never go back to another Super Bowl since 1984. What happened from 84 to 95 with Don Shula that he could never recreate what he had in the 70s and in the early 80s?
Okay. In my opinion, what occurred was two things. Okay. A failure to change staff members. Mm-hmm. Okay. He went from Onsparger through the success that the no-name defense and the Killer Bees had. Onsparger left to coach somewhere else. And he was replaced eventually with Tom Olivadotti as the defensive coordinator. And the Dolphins could never get the defense right. You look at it now, it's like they can't get the offense right. Mm-hmm. But this time, it was the defense, okay? And this was also during prime years with Marino. everybody was saying to him, you got to get rid of Oliver Dottie. You got to get rid of Oliver Dottie. And Shula stuck to his guns and kept
Was it
Oliver Dottie.
Was it a loyalty thing? He felt
it
loyal
was
to him?
He felt loyal to him, and he wanted to give him a.
Oh, he let me go. He dropped. All right, D-Dub, get back up here, D-Dub. This is Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show, Clap Blockers. I'm your host, Stephen D. We're on Throwback Thursday. Today's show is a big portion of it is going to be the many coaches of Miami. We're going back through time. We are going to learn from our mistakes today. What I want to do is I want to talk about Don Shula. I want to talk about Jimmy Johnson, Dave Wannstedt, Nick Saban, Cam Cameron, Sperano, Bowles, Philbin, Campbell, Gase, and Brian Flores. And how do we not make that mistake heading into the future? So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to bring D-Dub back in here. D-Dub, what happened?
I fat fingered something.
All right. So look, so let's get right back into it because I like the track you were going on. He was loyalty to a fault. He was loyal to a fault.
He was loyal to a fault with Oliver Dottie, and 2-3 years of getting blown out in playoff games between the Buffalo game and the Denver playoff debacles. People were calling for Oliver Dottie to be fired and calling for Shula to replace him, and he wouldn't do it. He wouldn't do it.
Now, let me ask you. We're talking about the greatest coach, right? We're talking about the GOAT. Let's use that in comparison now to Brian Flores real quick. Let's just go back and forth here. It sounds like there's some of the same personality traits to a say that I'm going to do what I want to do and I'm not going to listen to outside counsel. Is that right? Is that true? Is there truth in that?
There's a comparison to that.
Okay.
There is. And the thing is that Flores didn't have the cachet
that
to
Shula
back
had.
up that Shula had.
Shula had Super Bowl appearances, Super Bowl wins, undefeated team.
Shula at that point in time had about 20-some years of experience when he dug his heels in. Flores, and we don't know if he was digging his heels in for the staff because so many things have come out with respect to his personality and his treatment of Tua that we can't even really delve into whether it was truly him digging his heels in on the staff. Now,
what year was this for Shula that he was digging in his heels? What year was this?
I think this was like 90, 91, 92.
So he retired in he retired in 95. My question is, from 85 to 95, that 10-year period, were fans calling for his job? Was there an uproar from the Dolphin community about he's not cutting it, we have this great quarterback and we're not able to get all, or were the Dolphin fans saying, we got Don Shula, we'll get it right, we'll get there?
I think it was split. It was split. You had people calling, asking if he had lost a little bit off his fastball. Okay. But it was more because he was more involved in the personnel and him choosing certain players with draft picks and not building at that point in time a good enough team, and getting certain pieces around Marino. See, there's different time frames with different things were being asked and questions were being asked. During the mid 80s and late 80s, it was being asked, well, why haven't you developed an O-line? Why haven't you developed a running game to augment Marino's greatness?
Do you think that in 95 he was pushed out rather than retired? Or a little bit of both?
I think I think he was a little bit pushed out. Okay.
Do you think? Do you
that
think?
62-7, that 62-7, that was hard to come back from. I mean, I'm sorry. The year before
Now,
that,
here's
the
another
year
thing
before
too.
that,
In
the year before that,
'94,
yeah, I
Wayne
misspoke a little
Huizenga,
bit.
94, Wayne Huizenga took over as owner of the team, and I think that also played a part into it as well.
Well, you have a series of events that make Shula's departure more timely than, or when I say more, let me see, makes Shula's departure less of a shock and more of an expectation, because he kept losing to Marv Levy.
Could never get over that Buffalo Bills hump.
Couldn't get
Sound
past,
familiar?
couldn't get past Buffalo. At that point in time, Buffalo was ascending.
Yep.
And it was
a mixture of a lot of things. It was a mixture of old age, old school thought, newer
and
football coming into play,
and the defense was lacking. The defense was lacking.
Understandable.
Okay, so there was a combination of things that caused Shula to be pushed out, and Jimmy Johnson, who coached during that 62-7.
So hold on before we get into Jimmy. Shula's gone now. We're past Shula. All right. Shula now leaves this huge, humongous shadow that no matter who takes over as the next head coach of the Miami Dolphins is going to have to live in the shadow that is Don Shula, the greatest head coach of all time. So Wayne Huizenga is thinking this, and he's like, well, what can I do? If I let go of the greatest head coach of all time, I need to bring in somebody that has a just as big a cachet in certain levels, in certain aspects. And so he goes out and gets Jimmy Johnson, who had already won Super Bowls for the Dallas Cowboys, had won national championships in college football, and for all intents and purposes, has an opportunity to. Fans aren't going to argue too much. You let the goat go, and you brought in a nobody. Now you let the goat go. You brought in Jimmy Johnson. There's something to be said of that. Explain the transfer from Shula to Johnson and how that was received by the fan base, as well as what was Johnson like in that first year or two.
Okay, so I have to just step a little bit back to the Cowgirls and look at the transition from Landry to Johnson. Okay. The Dallas Cowboy franchise Jerry got taken to task in the way that he handled Tex Schramm and Tom Landry's departures. Okay. So Wayne Huizenga didn't want that. He wanted a
amicable breakup with Shula, and then a big name afterwards.
Yes, he wanted an amicable breakup, and he wanted a big name. So here enters Jimmy. Now Jimmy, okay, he's not the Jimmy of when he took over the Cowboys, where he was cutting his teeth per se. He came in again.
Jimmy's first move as the Cowboys was trading Herschel Walker. That was his first move as Dallas.
His first big move. Yeah. But Jimmy comes in, and he's got I'm the new sheriff in town.
Okay.
And I'm going to do it my way.
So he put his what on the table and said, this is how we're going to do things now.
Yeah, he put his member on the table. I'll say it that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
And some people weren't having it.
Some people weren't having it. And especially since you still had a big star in Dan Marino still on the team.
And there's the rumor that they didn't get along at all either.
Yes, that there's rumors of that. There's talk that Jimmy wanted to moderate, govern down the passing attack, and develop more of a running game for the Dolphins. And the Dolphins had been basically like Showtime for the last
running back by committee
8 years, and he
Yeah.
wanted to slow it down. He instead of having the Lakers or Golden State, he wanted the Knicks and Detroit Pistons.
Yeah.
Okay.
He wanted a strong defense with a run game. He didn't care about throwing the ball 40 or 50 times a game. He wanted to run the ball 30 times a game.
Yes.
And so now you have again, I promise y'all there's a point to this Throwback Thursday. We need to learn from our mistakes, which we have not in our entire history as a franchise. And that includes the exit of Shula into Jimmy, and as we keep on going into it. So now we're sitting here, we have a humongous star in Dan Marino. We have a head coach who, in his own ego and his own represent, by the way, has the credentials to be like this. I'm not going to put it past him, right?
Yeah.
But now you have these two egos that are friction. They're going head to head. There's one that has one philosophy. There's another that has another. Why couldn't Jimmy Johnson and Dan Marino make it work? And did some of Marino's injuries play into this as well? Because he was at the end of his career at this point too.
He was nearing the end, and like every athlete that's had greatness, sometimes you don't know when it's time to go, or when you still think you got the 98 mile an hour fastball when your fastball is probably 91, but you still have the confidence that you can call upon that 98 mile per hour fastball. That being said, okay, you got two giant egos in the organization. And I think that if there was a way, looking at revisionist history, and I know this may sound like heresy, but maybe you should have allowed Jimmy to bring his own quarterback in.
So there's always the rumor that in 98 or 99, the Minnesota Vikings had a trade on the table for Chris Carter and Dante Culpepper for Dan Marino.
Yeah.
In 1999. Now, mind you, let's play some factors in here. In 1994, a new ownership in Wayne Huizenga took over. So you didn't have Joe Robbie, you had Wayne Huizenga. You also have the lure of this quarterback at the end of his career. There was so many changes in the mid to late 90s within this franchise that I think that no matter what happened, it was going to be set up for failure. Would you agree with that? Because there was just way too many big changes.
I think that, like I just said, maybe they should have, with revisionist history, maybe they should have pulled the trigger on a move. Because two bulls can't run one pasture.
I get you.
Okay?
I understand that.
So if you bring Jimmy in and you've already given him player personnel decision power.
That was my next question. What power? He had everything, right? Except Marino.
He had everything except Marino. Right. It was like, I think it must have been a deal where you could have the player personnel. This is what I think. I don't have any fact on this.
Okay. This is all hearsay.
That it's not even hearsay. This is what I believe. Okay. That he had player personnel power, but I don't think he had the power to really get to trade.
To wipe the slate clean.
He didn't want to wipe the slate clean and go through another
rebuild.
Public relations
nightmare
issue the way he did coming in as the Dallas Cowboy coach.
Well, he'll tell you those first couple of years in Dallas were like he hated it. He hated it, but he also knew he had to do it in order. Like the moment he traded Herschel Walker, Dallas Cowboys fans hated him for trading him. Which the reality is it was the greatest trade in NFL history because it allowed them to get Emmitt Smith and a couple of other people. And so, you know, you have to understand what you're doing. All right, let's go back to the Dolphins here. So, 1999 comes around. Marino's at the end of his career. He's hurt. 1999, Damon Heward is the backup. Marino plays 11 games. We get into the playoffs. I don't want to talk about it, but I'll just say it. 62-7 happens.
Yeah.
62-7 happens, which ends up being Marino's last game and ends up being Jimmy Johnson's last game.
Yes. And see, the rats leaving the sinking ship mentality started there because you also had, you know, a couple of coaches later, you had Nicky Boy, Nick the
We'll get into him. We'll get into
do that as well. But 62-7, and that's all I want to say about it.
There's nothing else that needs to be talked about it.
I was cracking up when Cameron was mentioning it, and he was like, just 62-7. And I was like, I understand.
I tell people all the time, as a Dolphins fan, you say certain games, the Miami Miracle or the Monday night game. As Dolphin fans, all we need to say is 62-7, and that's it. That's all we need to say. We don't ever have to talk about it anymore. We don't need to get into details of it. It was what it was.
You know, that happened, and then.
So all right. So time out. Let me get it. So 62-7 happens. Jimmy Johnson leaves. Dan Marino leaves. Real quick, why wouldn't Jimmy stay if Marino was leaving? Do you have an idea of why Jimmy wouldn't stay?
I think because, again, he, in my opinion, he didn't want to face the media, the backlash of possibly abusing the Miami icon to the point that, he pushed him. And
again, I go back to the rumor that even after this game, the trade was still on the table for Minnesota to get Dante Culpepper and Chris Carter, and Dan Marino would have played another year in Minnesota. That didn't happen. So now 2000 comes around. Jimmy Johnson's gone, who was the player personnel director, GM, whatever you want to call it, right? So now Dave Wanstedt comes in from the University of Pittsburgh. Dave Wanstedt comes in. He's not a big name. He's an up-and-coming coach in this league, and they give him the keys to the car. They said, hey, man, here you go. You have player personnel decisions. You're taking over like they gave him the keys to the car. It wasn't even, hey, let's bring in a czar and go from there. It was, here's everything.
He was Jimmy's handpicked successor.
Yeah.
Because remember, they worked on the same staff in Dallas.
Okay. So Dave Wanstedt got the keys to the car because of Jimmy Johnson.
Yes.
Okay. So let's go into Dave Wanstedt. Let's talk about Dave. Dave Wanstedt is the last head coach of the Miami Dolphins to win a playoff game for us, if I'm correct. So what about Dave was good? What excited the fan base? What he only ended up coaching 3 years here. He didn't coach a long time. Which in my opinion, this started the carousel of multiple head coaches within a 3 to 5 year range. Wanstedt coached 5 years, by the way. Wanstedt coached 5 years.
Yeah. What excited the team? At that point in time, the team had a great defense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, under Wanstedt, and the offense.
At this point, Jason Taylor and Zach Thomas were already here. You know, there was a good foundation. The defense was good.
Yes. And the fact that, in the last year and a half, the offense reflected more of Jimmy Johnson's vision of it, where you had a battering ram for a running back.
Mm-hmm.
And not the gunslinger mentality that the Dolphins had for the previous, almost 2 decades with Marino. So it was balanced. They were winning, but again, just because you're winning doesn't mean that you have the total recipe. Because again, the Dolphins failed to be balanced. They've always been, ever since Shula, they've been trying to find balance between the offense and defense, and both clicking at the same time.
Just so y'all know, the offensive coordinator in the year 2000, Chan Gailey. The defensive coordinator was Jim Bates. And then we had some interesting people. Randy Shannon was a linebackers coach. That name rings a bell. Mike Shula was the quarterbacks coach, so there was still a Shula within the organization. And Rick Spielman, who would later become the president, was the vice president of player personnel, although it looked like, again, the keys to the car were within
Dave Wanstead's grasp. Is that the father of the Spielman who just got fired with the Vikings?
That is the same Spielman.
Oh, the same Spielman. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same Spielman.
Okay. Okay.
And then you go back and you look at, Jay Fielder was our quarterback, running backs at that time. Rob Conrad, Lamar Smith, Aronde Gaskin, OJ McDuffie were our wide receivers. And then the defense, you had Larry Izzo, Zach Thomas, Sam Madison, Brock Marion, Patrick Surtain. It was a really, really good defense, right? Tim Bowens, Trace Armstrong, Jason Taylor. The defense was amazing.
Yes. And in fact, Trace Armstrong, I think will have a little fun. I'll have a little fondness for Trace Armstrong in the fact that he's crunched flakes in the playoff game and enabled the Dolphins to pull out a win in that playoff game against Buffalo. So Trace,
they won 11. They won 11-5 that year too.
You got one on me. You got a round on me, bro.
And they won 11-5 that year. And I don't want to get into each year, but I wanted to tell you, Dave Wanstead came in to the head coach already with a which is very similar, in my opinion, to what we have now. He came in as head coach with a base, with a foundation already built, and especially on defense, right? And so,
yes,
you look at that now. I think that helps anybody. So they go, and I believe that they won a playoff game, if I'm correct.
They won the game, like I was just talking about with Buffalo. They won that play.
Yeah, they won 23-17 to the Colts, which was the last playoff game that they ever won.
That's the Lamar Smith game where he ran for over 200 yards.
Estefan Fiedler.
He ran for over 200 yards in that game, and they ran Lamar Smith so much that in the next game against Denver, I think he only got about like 25 yards or something. Yeah. The Denver defense at that point in time was very, very good.
No, we lost to Oakland the next game, 27-0.
Oh, was that the Oakland year?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. That's right. That was almost a
Oakland went to the Super Bowl that year.
Was it a shutout or three points the Dolphins scored against Oakland?
27-0. 27-0.
Oh, yeah. I get the years a little confused. I apologize.
No, it's all good.
There's been so many different losses for the Dolphins. My brother's calling me. I'll call him back. There've been so many playoff losses in the last 25 years, 30 years and they've been so infrequent the visits that you get the years fuzzy. So I apologize. But,
no, and if I'm correct, that was a Gruden. That was a Gruden team. That Raiders was a Gruden team.
Hold on, I lost you in my ear. Hold on.
Tell your brother you're doing a morning show. Hey,
Yeah.
while D-Dub's fixing everything, I want to remind you all, if you haven't done so already, hit that like button. Let people know that you're watching. This is Throwback Thursday. I'm your host, Stephen D. I
Okay.
got D-Dub with me each and every Thursday.
Got you back in my ear.
What we're doing right now is we're going through the history of the Dolphins because I think one of the things that I've kind of come to the decision of as a fan is we haven't learned from our mistakes. So I think I need to educate some of the fan base as to what the past mistakes have been in this team. And I think that as a fan base, if we learn from our mistakes, we'll be more educated from it, which is always good. But also to understand there's something that in order to move forward, you have to understand what failed backwards. And so that you don't make that same mistake twice, right? And so and that's kind of where we're at right now. We're in the year 2000. You know, Dave Wanstead just took over the team, but it was a team that was already had a foundation built in from Jimmy Johnson. We lose 27-0 to Oakland. Now all of a sudden, it's 2001. This is where the losing really starts to play in, because after this, I think 2001 and on, which have been the last 20 years, the definition of mediocrity is the Miami Dolphins. What happened after that year in 2000 that we could never – because, I mean, looking at that 11-5 year in 2000, 3 out of the 5 games were by 1 possession or less, and 2 of them went to overtime. So it wasn't like we lost those – like we were a dominant team. We were one of the best teams in the NFL that year, you know?
Well, I could tell you, you don't have a franchise quarterback. You don't have stability at the coaching position. That's what happened to the Dolphins. That's what happened to the Dolphins. Okay. Jamar Fletcher happened to the Dolphins. Picking him instead of Drew Brees. That's what happened to the Dolphins. And the Dolphins have not been able to find a triumvirate, a successful triumvirate between GM, coach, quarterback. The same way you have to be strong in the middle with respect to the offensive line and the defensive line in order for a team to be successful on the field, in order for an organization to be successful, you got to be strong at 3 certain positions as well. And really 4. I need to include this. Ownership, GM, coach, quarterback. And we have not had that all come together at the same time. We're still in search of a franchise QB, in my opinion. Okay. Yes, I want Tua to be successful. I have my doubts as to whether he's the guy because of what I have seen, not stats, what I have seen with my own eyes, what I have seen on the field. I have doubts about the organization because of what I've had to endure over the last 20-some years, where you've had changes in ownership. You know, we didn't even discuss the change from Wayne Hunzinger to Stephen Ross and how that impacted the organization.
Yeah, well, we're going to get to that. We're almost there.
You know, we've had so many different GMs and player personnel and VP of operations and consultants put in, you know, that's what's wrong with the Dolphins. You know, and I look at successful organizations. They find the QB, they find the coach, they have consistent ownership, and they find somebody who can work with the coach, establish and maintain a working relationship. Okay. So
all right.
So
2001 comes around. We go 11-5 again, but we lose in the wild card to the Baltimore Ravens 3-20. And
that was a tough one.
That was a tough one. So we have back-to-back playoff appearances in Dave Wanstead's first 2 years. Made the playoffs the first 2 years, right? Now we go to 2002. They go 9-7. They don't make the playoffs, but they have multiple Pro Bowlers.
Yeah, Ricky. That's Ricky's year.
Yep, and that and so they they thought by bringing in Ricky Williams, having back-to-back 11-5 seasons, that it would put us over the hump. And that didn't obviously quite happen. That's where the coaching, the quarterback carousel really starts too, because you had Jay Fiedler, Ray Lucas, Sage Rosenfels. They all played in this particular year. And then you go to the 2003 season, where they actually improved from the season before. They go 10-6. They had 4 Pro Bowlers, but they missed the playoffs again. So they improved from the season before. They didn't quite do it. But now you're also in this. This is the year I think Ricky. This might have been. Was this the Ricky year? The next year was the Ricky year that everything kind of went down, because what ended up happening was the Dolphins started out 1-8 in 2004. And Dave Wanstead was pretty much, he resigned during the bye week, starting out 1-8, and Jim Bates took over for the rest of the year. But this was the year that Ricky retired going into the preseason, and the world kind of fell apart for the Dolphins in the sense of everything. What happened this year besides the Ricky stuff? Like, what happened? Why did the team start 1-8? Was losing Ricky that big of a deal to the team? Because I mean, they crumbled this year. They crumbled,
and they crumbled because there was no vision to develop a QB, and there was no vision to develop an offense because Wanstead was a defensive-minded guy. I have to put my phone on the charger.
No, you're fine. So Dave Wanstead, Mark Trestman, again, these names might sound familiar, was the quarterback's coach and assistant head coach. Chris Forrester was the offensive coordinator. Jeff Dallenbach was the special teams coach.
That's the house phone ringing. I don't have no control over that.
No, you're fine, man. And then Jim Bates ended up being the interim head coach. What happened here? AJ Feely, Jay Fiedler, Sage Rosenfels again, the quarterbacks this year. Just overall, D-Dub, what happened? Like, why did this team crumble?
Again, all I could French. You need a franchise quarterback.
I get what you need. That I get.
Okay. But, so the reason when you don't have one, you have mediocrity.
Okay.
And
that's true.
I mean, to get into the minutia of it,
was Dave Wanstead successful his first 2 years because of Jimmy Johnson and never could recreate what Jimmy did?
Yes.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. So Dave Wanstead wasn't a good head coach.
Dave Wanstead benefited. He's the person who gets an inheritance and benefits from the fact that the father or the mother was successful, and he benefits from that. Dave Wanstead, he wasn't very successful away from Jimmy. He had, as he moves further away from Jimmy, you see he went to Chicago. He wasn't very successful there. I think he may have 1 or 2 winning seasons there. Then he moves on to Pitt. He ran Pitt into the ground.
Do you think that if Jimmy Johnson had have stayed, that the franchise would have turned out differently, and maybe it would have been a very interesting story from 2000 to 2004 with Jimmy there?
I think, it would have been. It definitely would have been a different story, and I would have hoped that I can't remember exactly whether or not Jimmy was involved in the Jamar Fletcher choice.
Okay.
And I go back to that because that's a big decision. Mm-hmm. When you have a future Hall of Famer, and I think Drew Brees is a future Hall of Famer available. And although he didn't have a lot of success, he was more like Tua is now with respect to San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
his overall career, you had a chance at him and you blew it over somebody who didn't stay in the league but 3 years, and you already had strength, all pros at the position you were picking. Again, do you hear the comparison
It all
between
sounds familiar,
Noah
doesn't it? It all sounds
Igbenogany,
familiar.
you know, Xavier Howard and Byron Jones, but you pick, you know, again, you go
Hunter
through these
Long,
things.
and you have, Gesicki. I get it. I understand.
You
I
know?
understand. All right, so 2005 rolls around. They let Rick Spielman go. Everybody's gone. So now there's a brand new
the
regime.
rats be sinking.
Yep, the brand new regime comes in. Wayne Huizenga goes out and gets Randy Mueller as the GM, and Nick Saban leaves LSU to become the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. This on his coaching staff in the year 2005, assistant head coach Will Muschamp, assistant head coach in offense Charlie Baggett. Scott Linehan was the offensive coordinator. Jason Garrett was the quarterback's coach.
All these familiar names.
Yeah, all these familiar names.
Heard.
Defensive line, Dan Quinn. Like all these names. And then as far as quarterbacks concerned, Gus Frerotte and Shays Rosenfels were our quarterbacks that year. Ricky had come back. Our Pro Bowlers that year were Chris Chambers, Jason Taylor, and Zach Thomas. We ended up going 9-7. Again, very mediocre. Second in the AFC East. What happened? And let's get into the Saban era. Because the next year Nick Saban goes 6-10. They're last. They make a couple of changes in the coaching scenario. Mike Mularkey becomes the offensive coordinator. Don Capers becomes the defensive coordinator. So
Nick Saban wanted things. He wanted
Joey
to
Harrington,
be.
Cleo Lemon, Marcus Vick, by the way, were the quarterbacks that year.
Oh gosh.
Yep.
Nick Saban wanted or wished for things to be like in college, and came to the realization that it'll never be that way, where he can get all the talent he wants, and that's why he decided to leave. I mean, because he couldn't get a quarterback, and I keep going to that. He couldn't get the quarterback he wanted. He couldn't get the players he wanted in the manner, because you had the salary cap, you got roster limitations. In college, you can recruit 7 different quarterbacks at a time if you so chose, and get and have the best one. In the pros, you got who you got, and if you can't get one,
Drew Brees came out in the offseason in Culpepper, and they ended up getting Culpepper, and we saw how that turned out.
Oh my goodness! Again, the Dolphins have missed on getting their franchise QB, and some people in the fan base will say, okay, you got a chance at getting the name that you don't want to have mentioned on the show, and are you going to blow
shall
the
not name?
Yeah. So you want to blow that opportunity just the same way you blew the opportunity to get a franchise QB, not once but twice.
Did the fan base know back then? Because did the fan base know who Saban was? Did they know that Saban was going to be become eventually?
Saban had a very good.
He had a good tenure at LSU. He won a championship.
He had a very good tenure at Michigan State as well.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that
he was an up and coming coach
no expectations for him.
Was successful wherever he went. So there was no reason to think he wouldn't be successful here.
Right. It would have. It was more of a natural progression. It wasn't. And mind you, he didn't crash and burn the way Urban Meyer did. He didn't crash and burn the way Lou Holtz did. And I know I'm coming back. Some people may know Lou Holtz as a name for Notre Dame, but he was he got signed as the New York Jets coach, and he had a horrific year with them.
Yeah.
So but he wasn't like that.
Now,
There were
Randy Mueller was the GM at this time, and Randy Mueller wanted Culpepper, and the rumor was Saban wanted Drew Brees. We can go back to that whole scenario. I don't want to get into that debacle, but what I will say is this, by the way, starts, in my opinion, not just starts. It had already been going on since, you know, even as far back as the end of the Shula days. There's this rift that the Dolphins can never quite get the GM and the head coach on the same wavelength. And going back to this particular era with Nick Saban, prime example happened here. A decision where the GM and the head coach could not get on the same wavelength cost this franchise 10 years, 15 years. Would you agree?
I would definitely agree.
Yeah.
I mean, when the organization has problems making decisions, you know, if you have issues and you're in meetings and you have contention, you're more like five fingers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, five fingers. But when you come out of that meeting and you meet the press, or you come out to meet the employees and associates, you're supposed to be like this together, okay, with one goal in mind, because you've made a decision to move forward. That has never happened with this franchise over the last 20, 25 years.
I'll go 30, man. I don't think it's happened since the mid-'80s. I don't think it's happened since the mid-'80s.
You know, so you have people calling, you have major decisions that are done, and either they've made the wrong decision, or somebody opens up their mouth and lets things out, which causes dissension, which causes people not to trust each other, which causes backbiting, which causes one person pitting against the other with respect to job security, and you have animosity, all the things that are counterproductive to a good organization.
Mm-hmm.
And this atmosphere, this it just permeates and it continues. And I want to get to the end so bad, but
I know.
A few things
I know.
Say,
all right, so let me get into the next. So 2006 happens. This is a great time for the franchise to hit the reset button. They do not. They just get rid of the head coach and Nick Saban, keep the GM and Randy Mueller, and bring in a guy like Cam Cameron. Again, this is a clear example of us making the same mistake in 2022 that we made in 2007. We let the head coach go. We keep the GM. And again, I'm just saying we've made this mistake before. Who knows if it's a mistake this time? We'll see. But I know we haven't learned from our mistake. And so, Randy Mueller keeps Cam Cameron. They go 1-15 and have the worst season in the franchise's history.
Greg Camarillo
gets free beers for life in Miami.
Okay.
There's no doubt about that. So, just out of curiosity.
Wait. So you got 62-7 and Greg Camarillo. So go ahead, continue.
And I agree. All you need to say is Greg Camarillo. You're right. 100%. 100%. I love it. All right. So now we'll go to 2008. 2008, they do hit the reset button on everything. Mueller goes away. Jeff Ireland comes in. Now, Jeff Ireland, if I am correct, was with the Cowboys from 2001 to 2005, or to 2008, really, right? So in 2009, he became the GM of the Miami Dolphins, and we ended up bringing in Tony Sparano as our head coach that year. So we went from 1-15 to 11-5 and won the AFC East. And a big part of that was the Wildcat, right? So we have this thing.
You skipped over a big name. and that was Parcells.
Okay.
He
That's
didn't
right. Bill
coach.
Parcells comes
He
in.
didn't coach.
We bring in
but
a czar.
He came in. You came in to try to get some normalcy, some to get rid of the chaos that had been going on. So you bring him in, but then, you know, I think in about a year and a half he resigns.
Yeah,
but
executive VP of football operations was Parcells, but Jeff Ireland was the GM. So you had these made up names and made up titles, but the reality was Parcells was the head dog there. And Jeff Ireland really probably didn't make those decisions. But at least I don't know. I know Parcells wasn't here that long, but I know that he was the reason that, you know, Sperano came in. You know?
Right. And then, you know, you get the Wildcat, you get the last division title, 2008, 2009 season. You get that, and that was one of the best moments that I've ever had, because as far as a fan is concerned, because I got to bring my son to the game and watch the Dolphins clinch a division title at the Meadowlands. At that point in time, it was the Meadowlands. So I got to see some history. But then you have ownership getting in the way, wanting to get the new shiny toy, the Harbor toy, and you haven't released your old toy yet. You still got your wife and you want a new, and you already announced your betrothment to another woman. I mean, how foolish is that? Foolish is that? And this is the same. Oh, never mind. I don't want to get to the end of the story, but
so Tony Sperano ends up coaching back-to-back 7 and 9 seasons, and in this time, you also see Bill Parcells go. Jeff Ireland takes over. And also in the same time, in the same transition, Wayne Huizenga sells the team to a guy by the name of Stephen Ross.
Yes.
Okay. So there's, again, a huge transition with people staying over from one regime to the next. There's no real continuity. There's bits and pieces of, let's try this, let's keep this what we have intact, and then
you know what? You had continuity in name, but you didn't have.
You broke off, D-Dub. I can't hear you. All right, this is Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami Fan Morning Show. Stephen D here. I got my man D-Dub. Hopefully D-Dub can hear me. Go ahead and go out and come back in, D-Dub, because I can't hear you. I don't know what happened there. But what I will say is, looking at what we're talking about right now, we're almost at the end. I know some of you are like, this is boring. Guys, what I want to do right now is I just want to paint a clear picture. We will have a little bit of a Dolphin chat panel today. I'm not going to let you guys down with that. But there's a reason that I'm doing this. I want to get into the specifics of certain things because I think that we are making some of the very same mistakes that we have made over and over and over and over again multiple times. And we can never make different things if we don't learn from our mistakes in the past. I know some of y'all might not like it because I see y'all in the chat, but I promise y'all, A, you're learning something, and B, I hope it makes you more educated to understand the decision that we need to make moving forward. And that's what this is all about, learning from our mistakes. Because I think as Dolphin fans, we haven't done that. I think we're a very bad franchise at doing this. Chef Shu says, I remember this whole timeline. It all makes sense, Stephen D. I like it. If you haven't done so already, hit that like button. I'm waiting for my man to come back on and come back in. I don't know what happened. I don't know if his phone died or whatever, but maybe his phone died. Maybe that's what it is. So what I'll do is I'll kind of keep the conversation going until D-Dub comes back. What I do want to talk about real quick is kind of this is way better than Tua sucks. No, he doesn't. Yes, he does. No, he doesn't. Andrevius, thank you for the $5 donation. If you want to donate like Andrevius did, I really appreciate it. Philip O says, Steven, don't listen to all these hater. George A says, a lot of this talk is ripping off an old scab. Ouch. It is. It is. Color commentary says, that's why us old timers get pissed when fans of a certain player say we're not fans. Cruisery says, all good, Steven. It's good to talk about something other than the tired and never-ending topics that end up is screaming matches and all kinds of emotional instability. I see what you did there. I see what you did. Color commentary said, these kids have no idea how bad this is right now. Let's see here. Stephen D, they kept saying Sperano in Ireland 1 year, 2 year long, too long. 1 year too long. I don't disagree with that. Kelvin Smith says we had never developed a quarterback or took the time to develop a quarterback after Marino. You're not wrong in any of this, y'all. The closest we came, Kelvin, was Tannehill. And now Tua is probably the second closest. And I'm not saying in terms of success, I'm saying of, doing it and trying to develop. Color commentary says we didn't develop Marino. I think there's some truth in that, right? Good to get away from the Watson talk. I thought the 1-15 would have been the worst, but you would have thought. 1234 up says Pat White was a beast. Let's see this. Kelvin said this word. I'm reading y'all's comments. If y'all have a question or want to ask me a question, let me know. I'm just waiting to see if D-Dub gets back up here. I'm pretty sure his phone died. I think that's what happened. So we're going to wait a little bit. Let me get back into the swing of things here. So 2010 happens, and Steven, I know it's Throwback Thursday, but the Dolphins family wants I can run a show for them after open panel format right after Clockrockers. Just let me know. Yeah, I'll do it. Batman 2423. I like it, Batman. Let's see here. Chef Shu, we suffered long enough. No more first-time head coaches. We need an experienced head coach with a veteran coaching staff. Color commentary, we kept trying to develop one, and that is the common denominator of 25 years of mediocrity. So have we ever developed a quarterback since we didn't develop Marino? Kelvin asked. Hey, look, I get it. My answer is we did develop. I think a big reason for Marino's success was Shula. Shula had a lot to do with it. Marino's great. Marino has had a lot of raw talent, but Marino, I think, would also be the first to tell you that some of what he was able to accomplish was because of Shula. I am of the mindset, though, that if Marino had went to Pittsburgh, he would have won a Super Bowl. I do believe that. Let's see here. Toby Delaire says we need an experience. We need experience. Bottom line. Let's see what else are y'all talking about in here in the chat. So I really wanted to get in with D-Dub the purchase of buying the team, Wayne Huizenga selling the team to Stephen Ross, and how that and I know he wanted to talk about it. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to put a pause on this real quick. And I actually, wait, here's D-Dub. Here's D-Dub. D-Dub's coming back. So hopefully this will work. Hopefully this shall work. Color commentary says, no, I don't believe it. Teamwork over 1 year. Sure, you get the Ray Lewis Ravens every once in a while, but why do we think we'll ever do that Dilfer nonsense? I don't know. I don't have an answer for you. D-Dub, what's up, man?
What's up, bro? I'm sorry about that.
Your phone died?
I got to go from the phone died. I'm eventually going to get a new phone, but I'm stubborn. I'm stubborn.
Hey.
It only gives me problems when I'm on StreamYard.
Only.
So
only.
Only. Yeah. It gives me a problem, so I have to go to phone number 2. Anyway.
Phone number 2. Okay, so real quick, what I really wanted to get in.
What's this? Okay, go ahead.
I'm just reading people's comments. What I really want to get into was the sale from Wayne Huizenga to Stephen Ross. Because you mentioned it earlier and you wanted to touch on it. What was that process like of Huizenga to Ross?
I mean, you had, of course, you got the money transaction, you got the property transaction. Okay. Wayne Huizenga came in with a big splash, wanted, to win, and he was, with Blockbuster, and it was a name that
Waste
you
management.
could, yeah, you could associate with that in some regards because it was products that you were using and whatnot. So, this guy, Stephen Ross, real estate magnate,
Do you think that's real quick? Do you think before Stephen Ross? Do you think Huizenga's deterred this team from being successful?
I would say that when you give the wrong people too much power and you give the wrong person not enough power, that's the problem.
Do you think Wayne Huizenga cared about winning?
I think both of these owners and all three of them, they care, but do they want to put in the work? And
what does that mean for an owner though? What does that mean for an owner though, putting in the work?
Well, what that means is, and maybe it's me. I don't want a Jerry Jones. I don't need an owner who's involved in every single thing.
Aspect, yeah.
But I need an owner to be accountable and want to mentor in the same successful way that he or she, and we've never had we do have female owners. We got the Ford, the Ford family. Yep. She owns them, and Carol Rosenblum. But right now, I think we only have one or two that are involved in the organization of the team. But he or she needs to put forth the same effort and commitment in developing the organization of the team as they did in developing the organization that got them to be able to be in a position to buy the team. And I have not seen that in Huizenga or in Ross, to where I was satisfied with the way that they interacted with the team. Okay, you spent millions of dollars to buy the Miami Dolphins. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter whether it's Huizenga or Ross. Okay, it's an investment. I realize it may be your plaything, and maybe that's the thing. I would like an owner who treats it more, like a valuable entity rather than a plaything. But I don't want him to be, he or she to be Jerry, who gets in the way.
There's that fine line.
A lot of time, right?
I people get sick of me saying this, but I truly think like Steve Bisciotti is a great example of an owner that took over, got the right person in place in Ozzie Newsome, and then sat back and didn't sat back behind the scenes, but sat back and let Ozzie do his thing, but also made it known that I'm here for anybody, player, coach, anybody in the front office. And I always feel like Steve Bisciotti is always been a great owner. And that's what the type of person I want leading the Dolphins. And what scares me about where we're at right now is I don't think Stephen Ross has ever been that. And you're right, I don't want a Jerry Jones. But the person that's supposedly in line to buy the team from Ross, the rumor is he's a Patriots fan. And he's a businessman the same way Stephen Ross is, which I get what you're going to get when people buy a new NFL team because they're billions of dollars now. You're going to get business people. But I still want somebody that is invested in making this, I guess, not an investment, but understanding that this is bigger than just a business or whatever. This is we need to I want you. I don't know the right wording to use, D-Dub. I don't know the right wording to say for the owner. I just know what is
Okay.
what is happening, and what is happening now. I don't like.
Okay, I can describe it, and I can tell you exactly the owner that I would like to have. I wish that the owners of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
They're a family, though. They've owned it for generations.
I understand that. I understand that. And they learned from 30, 40 years of mismanagement. And now you've had 3 coaches in the last 40 years.
Yeah, I get that.
Okay, so that's what I would like to have in place as far as the organization and the mindset. Now, whether somebody who's a new business tycoon or business magnate can instill that type of mindset into the current situation, you know, there's a lot to that family connection. Okay, you look at the Chiefs; they've been in the same family since the creation of that franchise, being the Dallas Texans, up to Kansas City Chiefs, and the Hunt family has owned and operated that entity, and they know enough of when to step in, how to nurture and massage relationships, but they also know enough when to step back and let the GMs do their thing. The same thing with the Rooney family. The same thing with there's another one. With Kraft up in New England. Yes, he's a business magnate, but he's got enough sense.
Yeah,
Kraft
is the owner that a type of owner that I would want. He's somebody who doesn't put his fingers in the pot, but stays in the kitchen, I guess is a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Good analogy.
So that those type of owners I would like to see.
So
I was going to step out.
No.
Not you.
Okay. So 2010, 2011, Sperano gets fired in 2011 in the middle of the year after starting 4-9. Todd Bowles takes over, ends up finishing 2-1. They go 6-10, finish third in the AFC East. 2012 comes around. Ireland again is still there. Joe Philbin comes in. We know how that works out. Philbin ends up being there for 4 years, 24-28 record out of 52 games. Leaves in 2015. Dan Campbell comes in for that rest of the year, finishes 5-7. Then we know Adam Gase and Flores. So just so you know, since Jimmy Johnson 4 years, Dave Wannstedt 5 years, Nick Saban 2 years, Cam Cameron 1 year, Tony Sperano 4 years, Philbin 4 years, Adam Gase 3 years, Brian Flores 3 years.
I can't believe Philbin lasted 4 years.
He got fired in his fourth year. He got fired in his fourth year. It's
amazing. I mean, he should have been fired that Green Bay game where he played not to lose. He should have been fired immediately after that game.
Yeah. Look, I mean, here's the whole point I'm trying to make is that we are consistently, I mean, is it we're not giving enough time? Are we not allowing these head coaches to go through the bumps and struggles of what the NFL is now? Because here you got to remember, D-Dub, the NFL is different in 2022 rather than it was in the 70s and 80s, right? Are we not allowing coaches enough time to develop or be able to bring in these people? Because the turnaround, the revolving door that is the NFL head coaching carousel, where we consistently on a year-in, year-out basis have set 6 to 8 head coaching vacancies come, the offseason. The average, I think, is 7 or 6, 7, or 8, one of those 2, 3. And
every year, 25% of the coaches are turned over in the NFL.
That's crazy to
average.
me. That's crazy
Yeah.
to me. Where is there any continuity or continuation or development to develop a foundation with anything?
Well,
and the Dolphins have consistently been doing this since 1995. Jimmy Johnson, 4 years. Dave Wanstead, 5 years. Saban, 2. Cameron, 1. Sperano, 4. Philbin, 4. Gase, 3.
Because you
Flores,
you brought in one or the other to replace one or the other. And I'm talking about GM and coaches. You've not. When's the last time the Dolphins really did a true catharsis, a true house cleaning, and established a brand new organization? When was the last time?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Thank you. Right. Because it's never occurred. And since Shula, you've had either an overlapping GM or overlapping coach for every organization that the Dolphins have had. They've not chosen a team or a partnership that was starting out together. Now, you could talk about people being promoted up and then getting a new coach like with Greer and Flores, but he's still part of the organization. He's still part of what the problem was. Okay,
the Miami Dolphins
now I'm seeing things. Go ahead.
The Miami Dolphins have been to the playoffs 4 times since the year 2000. They've won 1 playoff game in that time. So in 22 years, we've won 1 playoff game, which was in the year 2000, by the way. And we've been to the playoffs 3 other times minus that year. We've had multiple 9-7, 6-10, 5-11, 8-8. All of those have happened. We are the definition of mediocrity in the NFL.
Mm-hmm. And that's why you have national pundits laughing. And
rightfully so.
They're skeptical of this Flores firing because of things that, I got to talk about it from the perspective of not giving the guy enough time and not providing him.
Hold on. Jose Valdez says all these coaches didn't do anything after they left. So what did we really lose? What's the point, Stephen? The point is we have not made the correct decisions, that we have consistently made the same mistake. We brought in very similar head coaches, people that, and it could be we brought in a big name like Jimmy Johnson, or we brought in a big name like Nick Saban, or we brought in a young and upcoming person like Adam Gase or Brian Flores, or we brought in a nobody like Tony Sperano. We've done it all.
You brought in the hot coordinator like Philbin, because he was hot after the Green Bay.
He didn't
Super
do anything
Bowl.
in Green Bay either, but that's neither here nor there.
But he was the top name associated with the success of that offense. So, you've done it different ways, all the different ways. You brought in different coaches. You brought in different GMs, promoted them. Brought in a hot new name, but you never brought it in a tandem. You never brought in a tandem.
That's true. D-Dub, let me ask you something. Knowing that and saying that, are we going to be in the same position 3 years from now?
History tells you yes.
Yeah.
History tells you yes.
Whew,
because you keep doing the same thing over again.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't trust
you got to
do the right thing.
So okay. You bring in the franchise quarterback with the draft, the number 5 pick, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now you don't give the coach who he's used to And whether good, bad, or indifferent, you don't give him enough time, but you keep the QB, you keep the GM, and now a new coach has to come in and decide whether he can build with that QB. Does he need a new playbook? Can he handle a new playbook? Can he handle what the playbook that was given to him previously? Those are decisions that the new coach has to make.
Let me say this for the record, for people that watch my show on a day in, day out
Hold
basis.
on one second. Go
ahead.
I'm listening, but
yeah.
What do you want for breakfast?
So I'm going to say this on a day. I'm going to say this. And D-Dub, I have you on mute. When you're ready to get off mute, just show me in the screen so I can see it. I'm going to say this for the record. The record is, I do not have faith in this organization to do the right thing. I don't even think that they're going to make the right decision here. But I'm going to be optimistic and say that it can happen. I do believe that it can happen. I do believe that the answer to change this franchise around can happen under this regime with Greer and whoever the new head coach will be. But everything has to fall into place almost perfectly for it to happen. I'm not saying we have to go out and get Deshaun Watson. Tua might be that guy. Anything can happen. I'm going to be optimistic about it. All right, D-Dub. I'm gonna be optimistic about it. I'm going to say that we can do it, and I hear people that are trying to justify the Mike McDaniel signing potentially. I hear people saying, "Well, Caldwell has failed, and Doug Peterson failed. Why?
Wait, Caldwell didn't fail anywhere. Where did Caldwell fail?
By the way,
where did Caldwell fail at? He got the short end of the stick.
He got the short end of the stick. D-Dub, I'm literally just saying things. D-Dub, I'm literally just saying things that Dolphins Twitter has said for the last 4 days. I'm just regurgitating Dolphins Twitter. That's it. Dolphins Twitter just and Dolphin Nation in general, Dolphin Nation in general is and I get why y'all are. This team's not giving you any resemblance to believe in them or trust them that they're going to do the right thing. Their track record proves it. We just went through that. There was no point in talking about Sperano, Bose, Philbin, Campbell, Gase, and we've been regurgitating Gase and Flores for the last year and a half anyway, so who cares about them? We know that we failed there. And we're in the same, and Flores might have been on the up and up, but they fired him, so it's over now. So now we got to hit the reset button again anyway in certain situations. I want to be successful. I want this team to win games. I want to be, I am sick of being the laughing stock of the NFL because that is what we are. We are a doormat for the NFL. I'm over it.
I have said repeatedly over the last few days, if you fired one, you should have got rid of the other as well. Okay. That's the only thing that hasn't been done over the last 20 years. A clean sweep of the entire thing. I mean, you've had resets where you choose a new coach, but you have an old GM. You get a new you have the old coach, but you get a new GM.
There's somebody from the prior. There's somebody that's from the prior regime that stays over.
Yes, and that's
I get that.
And that carryover continues the process of mediocrity. And like I said, I didn't think Flores needed to be fired. I've said that I've stated that on my Twitter. I think that you should have had a come to Jesus moment meeting with the two entities or the three entities or the organization and say, look, work this out. You're grown men. Work it out. Make it happen. Make it work. What do you need to get to be successful? What do you need to get to be successful? Make it work because I'm tired of changing. I mean, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it.
And let me tell you, this person who's already been approved by the NFL to buy the team, he doesn't make me any more excited about Ross leaving or not leaving, because I don't. At least I know one thing with Ross. Ross wants to win. He's not making the right decisions, but he wants to win. And to me, that's half the battle. Like, his desire to have a winner is great, but
does he have his desire to see the Dolphins win?
I think he does
more than his desire for Michigan to win? Because if you listen to that press conference,
I know people are making that argument, D-Dub. I think that's a BS argument. I think it's a BS argument. Here's why. I'm telling you right now, he wants the Dolphins to win more than anything left in his life. He wants to say he was the owner of a Super Bowl winning team. I promise you that is his number one desire.
Did he say that?
But in my heart of hearts, that's what I believe. That's what I believe. But
okay.
I don't think he is. I don't want to say smart enough, because I don't want to disrespect him in that sense. But maybe that's the reality. He's not made the right decision. He's not made the right decision. So how can I? I mean, you can want something so bad and still fail, and I think that's kind of where he's at.
I mean, we've gone through getting the superstar.
I'm not saying he's not a loser. He is a loser. But I don't think that
I can't say that a man who is as successful as he's been in business is a loser. But what I will say is this: he has tried everything but the right thing. Okay,
but D-Dub, we don't know what the right thing is. That's the other problem.
No, the right thing is, you look at organizations that have been successful for long periods of time. You look at them and you see, hey, what's the common denominator or denominators for their success? You have owners meetings every year. Every year. You can't tell me that somebody is not going to want to talk to you at those organizations that have been that have had consistency. You can't tell me that you can't talk to somebody in the Pittsburgh organization or somebody in the Kansas City organization. And even though they've had their times, every franchise has it, but they don't go through 20-some years like we have right now. There's a difference between having that failure in the 30s and 40s and 50s and now. Okay, because now there's no excuse for it. There's no excuse for it. So you have to talk and see what the common denominators are with the successful franchises, right, and emulate them. There's no reason why, as an owner, you can't sit down with somebody. You have them at the games. Every owner most of the time travels with the teams. Yep. Kraft travels every time. You know, even you've gone to Pittsburgh at least 7 times in 20 years that you own the team. You can't tell me that in one of those opportunities, in one of those NFL meetings, you weren't able to sit down and set up a meeting and find out, hey, what's good? What are the good things about your organization that you're proud of, that you're most proud of? You telling me that you can't look through and have some assistant, some way, shape, or form, go through media sources and find interviews and find information about what makes those organizations successful?
I get it. I get it. All right, D-Dub. Let me. We can go on and on about this. I want to allow the Dolphin chat to have a panel this morning. So I'm going to open up the panel here in a minute. I do want to remind y'all, if you haven't done so already, hit the like button. Donate to the channel. Help the channel grow. Keep it clean. Swear jars in effect. If you want to ask D-Dub or me a question, go ahead. We're going to be here. The link is in the chat. Let's go, Dolphin panel. Let's do it.
And one other thing. Okay,
Go ahead.
I'm gonna say this. I think, and history shows it, and I'm gonna address the elephant in the room with this regard. Black head coaches have a shorter leash or shorter time period than their counterparts. Lovie Smith, Ray Rose,
Yep.
Jim Caldwell,
Todd Bowles.
all of them. I mean, Todd Bowles, he had his chance with the Jets, but he had a chance here in Miami, and you don't know if he would have been the same head coach in Miami that he was in New York, but you didn't even give him a chance. Okay, so I got to put it out there. I got to mention it because the NFL's history with respect to how long or how short a period of time, a grace period of time, black head coaches get compared to
Marvin Lewis doesn't count. Marvin Lewis doesn't count. He's the exception to that.
Marvin Lewis was running his own personnel, his own scouting department because Paul Brown was so cheap. That's one of the reasons why he stayed for 16 years. But he's the anomaly. He is the exception to that. But when you look throughout history, I mean, you gotta say it. That's why we have a Rooney Rule. That's why we have. I mean, all these things.
D-Dub, you know I agree with you. You know I got your back on that. I agree. All right, let's start bringing on some people. My number 2. Y'all know him. Andrevius. FAU is in the building. What's up, man?
What's going on, guys? How y'all doing?
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
What'd you think so far this morning, my guy? All right, you're taking too long. You're taking too long.
Okay, yeah. All right.
All right, let me bring on Alexander. What's up, Alexander? Alexander, you're on mute.
My bad. What's up, guys? Andreas,
What's up?
D-Dub.
Hey, tell D-Dub you work for the phone store. You can help him out.
Hey, D-Dub, you need to come down to AT&T, bro, in Deerfield, man. I'll hook you up with a nice deal. My manager will prove it and everything.
Hit him up on Twitter. Hit him up on Twitter.
What happened, D-Dub?
D-Dub, we can't hear you.
In Miami?
No, Deerfield Beach.
Oh, man. I have to get to Florida. Right now,
this is South Carolina.
I live in Ohio, bro.
Oh, that's right. I forget you're in South Carolina.
All right, y'all two talk about that somewhere else. All right, Estefan, what's up, Estefan?
What's going on, y'all? Good morning. Hey, I got two things I got to address. D-Dub and Alexander. D-Dub, the whole black coach elephant in the room, I kind of feel that way. But I heard Flo straight up told Ross and Greer, F you, bro. Like, and they deserve it too, bro. I'm not going to say they don't because they're idiots. Because, you know, Greer, in my opinion, he gets credit for the picks. Fair, I mean, that's his job. But when you actually know about the draft, these past two drafts, and I know you know, D-Dub, these drafts were loaded, bro. I'm sorry, these drafts were loaded. It's kind of hard to miss on picks. The fact that you miss on 3 first rounders the year that you drafted Tua, bro, up to this point, I'm just saying, man. I mean, does that? I get where because I was even one of the ones probably I was telling EM. I think Greer's going to need to get some credit because these guys are starting to play well. But when you think about it, bro, these drafts were loaded, man. If you don't hit on your picks in these past 2 drafts, you kind of suck because there's a lot of teams that hit on their picks, bro. That's all I wanted to address as far as like, the black coach narrative. I'm there with y'all. You know what I mean? I think it's unfair, but it doesn't matter what color you are, man. If you bite the hand that feeds you and you tell somebody F you, bro, you're out of there. And then Alexander, bro, I think there's a direct correlation with you, Cam. There was a guy on TD's channel like the day before yesterday. Bro, I realized something, man. All of y'all that go to the game see Tua fall in love, bro, y'all need to get y'all's eyes checked, bro, and take some binoculars. Because if you actually watch the film, he is garbage, bro. Basura. Oh my gosh,
The thing,
bro. And y'all Tua
the
takes,
thing
bro.
is,
You, Big
Esther,
John,
Esther,
when y'all start talking
Esther.
about bringing in coaches, and I mean to if you're talking about bringing in coaches for Tua, bro, that's a further investment on that guy. And when y'all talk,
But
bro,
that's
that's
where
Tua.
Estefan,
Makes me want to throw
Estefan,
up. All right, go ahead.
I want to.
Go
I
ahead,
want to
That's
respond to
Alexander.
Steven.
that.
Go ahead,
I
Alexander.
want to. I want to respond to that. Now, Esther, I get it. I
D-Dub,
get it.
I'm
The
putting
fact
you
is
on
that
mute.
he hasn't lived up to the standard of being the 5th overall pick. I totally understand that, and I'm never gonna go against you on that. Okay, that's one thing. But the fact of the matter is that you need time to develop. The quarterback needs time to develop. You can't evaluate a quarterback in only 2 years, bro. It's impossible. It's impossible
You
to
know,
develop a quarterback in 2 years.
one of the things that I think is very interesting is that I don't think
I
that
don't
there
agree with
is.
that.
One of the things that I find very interesting, and I'm gonna bring crypto in here too, is that we live in a world now where I don't know what a good time frame is, and I put everybody on mute just so y'all know. I don't know if a 2 year is enough time, or 3 years, or 4 years, or whatever. I just know that what we've been doing hasn't worked, and that's what today was all about for Throwback Thursday, is understanding this is a rinse and repeat cycle, and I'm over this rinse and repeat cycle. Andrevius, I mean, do you not agree this has been the same thing over and over again for the last 25 years?
I mean, you can say the same thing for any losing franchise, though. They just keep resetting and hoping it works until it does.
Yeah, but why does it work for other, like, why is franchises like Green Bay and Pittsburgh and the Patriots, and I'm trying to think of other franchises that have a history of winning, even the 49ers, even though they've had some losing seasons in there, seem to be able to find the right guy eventually, or be competitive eventually.
I don't know. Maybe we're
longest
cursed.
extended
Maybe we're
playoff drought.
cursed. Maybe we're cursed, like half the fan base says. We're cursed. That's what it has to be, right?
Crypto, what's up? What's up,
Steve,
Crypto? Go ahead,
what's up,
Alexander.
Crypto?
What's up, Steven?
Steven, the thing is that this is only. I wouldn't say it's a rinse and repeat cycle, because Ireland stayed on after Sparano left, okay, but then again after that, Hickey left when Philbin left towards the end of Philbin's career. So then they bring in Greer in 2016, and Flores is gone, but Greer's still here. So it's only like the second time it's really been done. Not the
That's
third
why.
time.
That's why I'm saying.
Go ahead, D-Dub, my bad.
That's why I'm saying you have overlaps from a previous regime, whether in GMs or coaches. You got this overlap. You've never had a complete ripping off the scab, pouring the alcohol on there, getting all the bacteria out, getting it all out, and then
Well, they did it in
curing
2016. They did it in 2016. They did it in 2016 by firing Hickey and getting rid of Philbin and bringing Gase and Greer.
Look, man,
Greer was part of the organization. Greer's been part of the organization.
But the third component wasn't there, the quarterback.
Yeah. Well, and not even that. Greer didn't take over in 2016.
When you brought up Green Bay,
Tannenbaum was the
Tannenbaum
VP.
had
Greer
the
was
final
the
say.
official G.
Tannenbaum had the final
GM.
say. Yeah,
No,
but
he wasn't. Greer was not the GM until 2018.
Yeah, Tannenbaum had the final say, sir.
When you brought up Green Bay earlier, Steven, that's interesting because they haven't always kept the same coaches, but the one thing they've done is they've hit on their quarterbacks, bro. Because you went from Favre to Rodgers and now potentially Jordan Love, bro.
That's been the constant stable. Exactly. The quarterback was always stable for 20 years for them.
Style I understand because a lot of Tua fans talk about style points and yada yada, bro. Sounds like more excuses. But I'm sorry, there's something in common with a lot of these QBs coming in that are having instant success, bro, and that is an actual arm with some power behind it, bro. And I'm sorry, even Jordan Love has that arm. That should be at least in your top 2 when you're evaluating a quarterback, bro. You need some size, you
Estefan, you
need that
can't really say
arm,
that though.
because the more
The
that you
arm,
look past those features in a quarterback, bro, your percentages start to go down on whether you're going to hit on that QB or not, bro. And that's just a fact. And that's what we're dealing with Tua. He's too small, his arm's too weak, and he just doesn't have the physicality part of it. You know what I mean? Look at how easy Herbert and Burrow make it look whenever they decide to take off, bro. You telling me Tua looks like that? I don't think so, man. Honestly,
you can't really say
at this
anything about the
point,
arm though.
at this point, they need to trade up and try to get that Pickett kid, bro, and figure out how to move Tua later, bro. The same thing that the Cardinals did with Rosen, bro. And when you said earlier, Andreas, that you can't do it, and that's not true, bro. The Cardinals figured out that they knew that Rosen wasn't their guy, bro. They knew that. They gave him a season, and they were done. They cut him loose, right?
Pretty quick. They
We moved off of
They moved
him.
him on for pretty quick. He was only
You
given
guys
13
moved off him
games.
pretty quick.
Right.
only
And
given 12 to 13
you saw a
games.
few games. They saw him in practice, bro. They didn't need to. They don't need to have him out there on the field to evaluate him. They knew he wasn't the guy, bro.
We
it's the
moved off
same thing.
quick, and they did.
And that's the same thing with Tua, bro. It's the same thing.
The Dolphins can't move off of Tua. I'm saying if you're gonna do it, don't draft a quarterback. Just go get one.
Just go get one, exactly. Yeah,
We're in a position right now where if we don't land Watson, there's not really that I know of. There's not really any quarterbacks saying they want to come to Miami, bro, that are free agents. Then you're going to have to go back into the draft.
They can get traded here.
I mean, we can throw some money at them. I don't know if they're going to want to come. That's all I'm saying. I agree. I'll take a free agent. But if not, you need to draft somebody because two is not.
Yeah, and Dravius, you're right. We have to go get one. We can't draft one at this point.
I agree. Yeah, he is right. He is right.
We're gonna be having this same argument next year. I promise you.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Throw the bag at somebody. But they have to want to
I was saying yesterday, Stephen D. About the rinse repeat cycle. I was saying that yesterday. Remember the Dolphins Olympics every 4 years. We're going to be doing this.
4 years, 100%.
Hey, real quick, Steven. Since we got to replace our quarterback and QB, why not D'Amato and Willie Beeman, bro? That's all I got to say. That thumbnail right there, bro.
You're killing me, Smalls. All right, let me bring in a couple of other people to the conversation. Joel and Alberto, what's up, gentlemen? How y'all doing?
Joe, what's up, man?
What's good, fellas?
What's going on, Joe? I can barely hear you.
He's in the wind cave.
Y'all hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you better. What's up, bro?
Yo, man, I got a drinking game for y'all. Take a shot every time Estefan says bro.
Oh, man, we gonna
That's
be
right.
talking 5 minutes, bro.
Hold on. Let me get to the house real quick, bro. Let me get to the house.
That's insider trading. Esta's gonna win just because he'll just keep saying it.
Right.
Alberto, what's up, Alberto?
Hey, what's up, guys? What's up? I've been meaning to get on, but I've been super busy lately. After the flow firing, I remember back after the Texans game, I called in. It was like a Monday or a Tuesday, and I let you guys know that I talked to Greer at the game before the game, and he asked me, he's like, hey, man, you good? You good? I said, what's up to him? I said, yeah, man, I'm good. I said, we could be winning, right? And he said, oh, no worries. Everything will be different next year. And I called you guys in and I let you know that, Steven. And I think, do you think that they knew by then, before that Texans game, that Flo was going to be fired already?
I think so.
I think they did know in that game.
No, I'm gonna put you on mute just because I got a lot of background.
At that time, we were 1-7.
Hilberto, this is what I think. I think that Greer and Flores played their hands to Ross, and they knew, everybody knew what was going on. So I will say, Hilberto, that I really don't think Flores thought that he would lose this battle. I think he still thought he would be the head coach here as early as 2 weeks ago.
Right.
But I think he gave Ross an ultimatum. Either he goes or I go. And Ross probably was like, "Well, Greer's staying because Greer, Greer, he's loyal to a fault,
Right.
I think that
Are you sure it wasn't the other way around? You sure Ross wasn't telling Greer?
No, I think that decision was made back then, and probably the only thing that could have saved Greer was making the playoffs.
You mean Flores?
I mean, save Flores. Yeah, Flores. That would have been the only way that would have saved him. But I think that decision was made because by that time, all of those personality issues had come up and was voiced, and the decision was made at that point in time.
I said a million times, if he just makes the playoffs, he don't get fired. So I don't really feel that bad.
What's up, Todd?
Right.
You know what the perfect coaching would be for me if we pulled in? Would be a Jim Caldwell, and if Peterson doesn't get a job, make him the offensive coordinator to help him learn a little bit more under Caldwell.
I say no to that. Caldwell without the Peterson, bro. I don't want to have anything with any scheme that has anything to do with Tua, bro.
Well, I'm saying Peterson, because remember how he had his issues with the quarterback before he left, and supposedly he lost the team. He could learn how to learn a little bit more from Caldwell.
Yeah,
like Estefan, don't you think they just for a PR political stunt, any person they interview is going to say they can work with Tua just so they can get the job?
I would say that somebody's probably going to bite on that because money talks. But I don't think that's the way it's going to go. I honestly think that they are out on Tua, and I think the discussion is going to be like, hey, we got this in the works over here with another quarterback. We don't know, but this guy's on his way out. You know what I mean?
They probably be saying that I need to say this so I support Tua just so I can get this job. I don't know.
No, I think they're going to tell them right up front, we're getting rid of Tua. Are you on board with that? And we're going after somebody in free agency. We got a target.
I think it's a little bit different than what you think, Estefan. I think
because you're tuning in, bro.
I'm not.
Take your hat off,
Estefan.
No, he's a flip-flopper.
Bro, you flopped so hard. I heard you.
That's why I have a mute button. I'm telling you, what'll happen is in the process of the interview, the question will be asked: do you want Tua or do you not want Tua? And it will be the coach to say yes or no. They're not going to give any indication whether they want to keep him or not. They want to see what the coach says.
Steven, I can hear you coming down the street because them flip flops be slapping you in the back, bro.
Bind, Steven. I'm Steven. Don't you think that would be putting the person in the bind? They ask them that question.
100%. But they're going to test whoever they bring in. Don't think they won't.
I'm going to say something that's going to really make it crazy.
Again, what did I say yesterday? I said that this franchise has never said anything direct. They're not direct in what they want or what they do.
We're talking about Stephen Ross here. He's 81 years young.
And he said in his press conference that it will be up to the head coach on what they want to do with the quarterback.
That's PR, bro. Everything. Don't believe anything that you're hearing right now. Everything's PR.
I don't
believe that. I'm telling you.
Right, which means I'm basically saying Greer is chopped liver as he's leaving it up to the head coach.
Listen to me.
I'm pretty sure that discussion is going to be that we're moving on from Tua and we're targeting quarterback for an upgrade.
I think you're dead wrong, Esther. I think they are going to pursue Deshaun Watson, but if we can't get Deshaun Watson, we're going to keep Tua. I don't think they're just out on him. I think they're out on him if we can get Deshaun Watson.
Right. I think it's Deshaun Watson or bust. Yeah, I agree.
I think they got three plans. They're going to tell this guy, we're out on Tua. We're going to try to get somebody in free agency. If we can't pull a fish in and during a big fish in free agency, we're going to go into the draft and go after Pickett and make Tua the backup until we can figure out where to move him.
Do you guys think Kirk Cousins is on the backup plan?
All right, hold on, guys. I got some people in the back room. Let me bring them on real quick. Joel, I'm just going to put you on mute real quick. Batman and Christolakis. What's up, gentlemen?
What's going on, gentlemen?
What's up, Batman? You've been missing in action, man. No excuses. No excuses, Batman. Stop your nonsense.
I took 3 days off because Estefan was spewing some Watsoneer stuff, and I just wanted to take 3 days off.
Yeah, bro.
So
I despise your text, Batman. I want to throw up, bro.
so
I love you,
just
man.
to go
Lakers suck.
just to go back to one thing. These jobs, these head coaching jobs, these are some of the most premier jobs in the country.
Yeah, you're right
There's
about
only
that.
32 of them. They're gonna say whatever they need to say to get that job. Okay.
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay, you're talking about people who have waited 5, 10, 15 years, 20 years to get the opportunity to interview. They're going to say whatever they need to say to get the job.
Yeah.
And then they'll make that evaluation. So they'll answer it any way that they deem the way they think will get them that job.
Hey, Joel, who did you say
Right.
was interviewing next,
That's what I
Joel?
was thinking. That's what I was thinking.
John
Dio.
Gruden, baby. Woo!
John Gruden. Whatever, dude.
That would be so Dolphin-like to hire John Gruden.
That would so be so Dolphins. So Dolphins.
That would be John Gruden.
Let me ask you guys a question because I put it up yesterday. I put the video that came out I think it was on Monday or Tuesday, of the idea of the Dolphins trading for Sean Payton.
Look, I said this. I don't know if I said this yesterday, but I know I said this sometime at some point this week.
Absolutely not.
I would not be surprised.
So it's done. Get over it, Batman.
Estefan, chill, bro.
That's why he's saying that. He's still with that.
I would not be surprised if the Dolphins trade for a head coach. Like they have the capital to do it. So let's say they go through these interviews, right, Batman, and they sit down and they say, you know what? There's some guys I like, but I don't know if they're the next step in our franchise. Like Mike McDaniel's a great example, right? Mike McDaniel looks like somebody who will eventually be somebody great in this league. But do I want him as a first-time head coach in the position that my franchise is in now? No way. So, but if I were to, like, there's two people I would be making a phone call to: the Saints and the Steelers.
Yep.
And I would be asking,
why do you want the Steelers?
Because I would love Mike Tomlin. I would love Mike
Hell
Tomlin.
no, and not a chance, bro. They are not going to give you Tomlin, bro. Do they, bro?
Yeah, they'd be crazy if they get rid of Tomlin.
But I'm just saying, I would at least make the phone call. Is the point I'm saying? The phone call.
Are they the Pittsburgh
like $20
Dolphins?
million a year to get him to
They're
come
not
out
us,
there.
bro.
Didn't we trade for Don Shula?
We did. We traded with Baltimore.
Okay.
Baltimore,
yeah, but this is
but
Stephen
it was
Ross
like
we're talking
for
about.
pennies, though.
Stephen Ross is going to.
Batman, we got a better chance of getting Tony D'Amato and Willie Beeman from the Miami Sharks, bro, than
let me
Sean
just say
Payton, bro.
this.
I can't deal with you this morning.
I put this
Estefan. You're
idea,
killing me this
Stephen.
morning.
You were touching on it. Like, look, Stephen Ross there's all these rumors that he wants to eventually get rid of this team, and he has somebody in place, right?
Yeah.
And you were mentioning that. So I have a thing. I have a theory that I was talking. I think I was talking to Cat for Life or Gio yesterday. I said, listen, this man probably sees his window closer than ever because if his intentions are to sell, why wouldn't he want to try to double his money in a sense where you put on all your chips in right now, and even if it means in acquiring a Watson, okay, and he wants to go win now, and he's willing to pay top dollar for assistant coaches, he's willing to blow the bank up because he wants his team to win, and then that way he can move on from the franchise and still we could get a potential Super Bowl. So I don't see the Watson talk as crazy. To be honest with you, I don't.
He's not selling the team in the middle of a divorce. He's not selling.
Man, I'm going to tell y'all something serious, bro. We got to go back. We got to go back a few years, and I don't know if y'all remember this. Now I'm being serious, Steven. Quit mute me, bro. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to reach to the screen. But when we had Gase, when we had Gase, they were actually talking about moving the Dolphins over to England. We have a lot of fans over there, and we've been sucking over here for quite some time, bro. I know we're fans, but let's be honest, we suck.
Not when you
I'm just saying, when this dude, hang on, bro. Hang on. Bite your mic. Time yourself out. Put yourself in the corner real quick.
Go ahead.
Listen, there is a chance that when this dude croaks, that this team goes to London.
That's the thing. We invested over
No
$500,
chance.
$600 million in the stadium.
into the stadium.
Come on,
There's
that's
no way.
No, if you stick with Tua, they're gonna get.
Estefan, and all of your takes in the history of your takes.
The worst take I've
That
ever
was
That is
heard.
the
funny.
worst and stupidest take you've ever had in
I
your
did,
life.
I did, I did
London
find
FC,
out the old
bro.
drugs you've been
You got a
taking.
team. Look, you got the potential teams that might move. Obviously, look, Jacksonville needs a stadium. They've always been in talks about moving over there. And then you have Carolina because the owner might be willing to do it. But those are the
No
only
way.
two teams.
Oh
That's
my
it.
God.
That's it.
So
Big,
Great Britain,
Big
Great
John,
Britain,
Big John,
far from
talk
that.
some sense into Estefan, please. Please.
Hey,
Great
bro, the worst
Britain
take
has the
that you ever gave
Dolphins.
Steven was when you mushed us about going to the playoffs, bro. I told you
Oh,
to stop saying it, and we will have a chance. And you kept bringing it up, and look what happened. Now look,
it's all
That's
you
my
got
fault.
Steven's fault.
you
My
got
fault.
the
No,
coach fired, bro.
Estefan, you
It
blame
wasn't
Tua.
Tua, it was
Do not
Steven.
blame Steven. You
It's
blame
not
Tua for
Steven's
that.
fault. It's not
No,
Steven.
actually, the Big O got the coach fired. He was pounding the table from day one.
Hey, crypto. Yeah, I think he did have something to do with it.
Yeah,
That's
he
why he's
did.
man. That dude's ridiculous. Anyways,
I
what's
think
up,
he
Big
had got him
John?
fired, man.
What's up, Chulo? What's up, Chulo?
What's
What up,
up?
Big John?
Big John, what's up? Big John, talk some sense into Estefan, please.
Nah, I'm gonna top that name, bro. I'm changing my name to John Wick, bro.
dude. No,
John Wick.
Yeah, because he's better than.
I just want Estefan. I
Go
just
ahead.
want Estefan to calm down, dude. That guy's about to have a heart attack, bro.
I know he's
Listen,
going a mile a
if we
minute,
get
bro.
Deshaun Watson, we get Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, simple.
If we don't get Deshaun Watson, we don't get Deshaun
Have I said
Watson. Don't
Deshaun
die,
Watson?
bro.
No. Have I said Deshaun Watson all morning, Steven?
Ooh. Hey,
Name.
time out. Breaking news. NBA breaking news real quick.
Kyrie.
Put yourselves on mute. Somebody's got I
Yeah,
hear
somebody's got bad
noise in the
feedback.
background. The Atlanta Hawks are trading forward Cam Reddish
Ooh.
to the New York Knicks.
Oh, I like Cam Reddish. I like.
Yo, what is that
I
feedback?
really thought you were about to say like you. I thought you were
That's
about to
probably
say
most of the time when you got feedback. It's usually crypto.
Somebody's driving.
I really thought you were gonna drop a bomb, Steven.
Cam Reddish
What you
getting
say?
traded to the Knicks is a big deal, bro.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
just
pretty-
telling you. That's a big deal.
Yeah,
That's a big deal.
Cam
The
Reddish
Knicks
is
are
pretty
trying, and by the way, to me, that's just the first trade that they make. I think they go out and try to get a couple of other people.
They about to go all in to get eliminated in the first round.
I ain't mad at you. Go eat, baby. But man, let me tell you, like they trade. It includes a 22 first-round pick via Charlotte, and the Knicks also acquire Solomon Hill for a 2025 second-round pick via Brooklyn in a trade. So there's two trades. They just got Solomon Hill and Cam Reddish, the Knicks. That's big.
Solomon Hill's a good three-point shooter.
Good
That's
for Knicks
big.
fans.
Alexander, are you happy?
Oh, that's
are you
him.
happy,
There he is.
Alexander?
The Knicks fan.
Alexander, take yourself
Hey,
off mute.
Big John, do you go to the games, Big John? Because I know Batman does. Do you actually
what?
go to the games, or you just watch them on
I always tell him
television?
and Cap, man, they're more than welcome to come. I got extra
Oh
tickets.
no, I just wondered because
Batman, I be at games all the time. I gotta hit you up.
We're doing it big.
I've gone to game. I actually sat 2 rows behind Dwayne Wade's father the last time I went to a Heat game, bro.
no, I'm talking about the Dolphins. What the hell are you talking about, Big John?
Listen, bro.
Talking about the Dolphins,
listen.
bro.
Oh, okay. Listen, I've gone to Dolphin games, but listen, bro. When you have a 2-year-old daughter who thinks your fan is a jungle gym, you don't got places to go, bro.
It's hard, man.
Kids,
Hey, I want to say something funny.
Kids be doing the most.
I
Go
remember,
ahead.
I remember, like, and Estefan, chill. I'm just gonna say the name, but I went to a Heat Lakers game down here about 8 years ago, and I got to sit next to. No, was it 8 years? Was it like 10 years ago? I sat next to Ronnie Brown. It was pretty
Did
cool.
you
Me
really?
and him. Yeah, I sat next to him, and he was not. He was. I wasn't even. I was in the upper part of the lower bowl, and he was sitting back there. And me and him, we just chopped it up. We were talking Dolphins.
Was he
man.
cool?
Hey, cool guy, man. Real cool guy.
So I want to.
Hey, I went to the
address
premiere
something
of
that somebody
Can't Hardly
said
Wait in California. I
about.
missed that great.
I
Who
want.
cares?
I
No, I'm
want
just
to.
playing. No, bro.
I want to address somebody. Somebody mentioned Kirk Cousins. So I don't know who it was on the panel, but Kirk Cousins overall winning record in the NFL is 59, 59, and 2. So I don't know if you want to bring.
I'm not taking a win-loss stat from a
Bro,
quarterback.
I'll bring Brett Favre out of retirement over Tua, bro.
They could be using him as a
Estefan is
fallback
like
option if we
anybody
don't
but
get
Tua at
Watson.
this
Not
point.
only
If they move
I'd
on
rather
to Tua.
suit it to Water Boy than have Tua.
Not only that,
I
that's a
don't blame you,
35,
bro.
that's
I
a
don't blame you.
$35, $40 million quarterback on top of that. So it ain't worth it.
Listen, I ain't gonna lie. We had a
Every
lot of
quarterback is
stupid
going to be
takes.
worth at least $40 million. The salary cap's going up.
I know,
We
but
got a lot
come
of
on. I'm not
stupid
paying Kirk
takes, but
Cousins
Kirk
35,
Cousins
40 million.
Tua's going to be worth about 40 or 50 million eventually.
We don't know. We don't know. He might take a Brady discount and build the team around him. You don't know that.
No way, that won't.
You don't know.
No, that's not going
You
to
got
happen. Not after
endorsements.
the
You
way
got
we treated him.
endorsements.
He's going to wring us dry. Not after the way we treated him. He ain't going to accept no pennies on the dollar.
Yeah, I've said that. I've definitely said that. Crypto. If he succeeds and when it's time to re up, it's we got to back up the Brinks truck.
Exactly.
He's
Especially the way
not
they be
staying in
treating them.
Miami.
But we got time. There's still time for that, though. We're talking about Tua. Like somebody mentioned yesterday, re-signing Philip. Wow, I'm drawing a
Lindsey?
blank right now. No, not Philip Lindsay.
Agba?
No, the other Philip.
Gesicki?
The other from the U. I'm drawing a blank, guys. I went to sleep late last night and I just woke up.
Duke Johnson.
Hey, Duke
Duke
Johnson, man.
Johnson.
No, Philip from the U, man. Our defensive end.
Jalen Phillips.
Jalen Phillips. Yeah, I was like, this is
cocaine
one-year
dealer?
guy. Be a
That's
Dolphin
a
for
long
life, man.
conversation. That's a long conversation. You got three more years before you can start having that.
At least.
D-Dub, who do you want to see as head coach?
No, listen. He was being funny, talking about he would give Jalen Phillips a extension right now and say you're retiring a Dolphin right now. And I had to laugh. I'm like, I get your point, but damn, dude, the guy's gonna be for what, 8 years?
Yeah, at least.
I would actually do that with Matt. What's his name? The safety. What the hell's his name? Oh my gosh! Now I have it.
Holland.
Holland,
We did
bro.
that with Rashad Jones. We did that with Rashad Jones. See how that worked out.
Yeah.
Everybody want to lock up players, but you don't know what their future is after 1 year.
Javon Holland is 18 times better player than Rashad Jones. Bro.
All right, hey, real quick. Question from Anthony. Panel. There's a new head coach. If he's more experienced, would you prefer a guy who is an offensive guy or a defensive guy? Then he hired a coordinator on that side of the ball so he can be the head coach.
Can I go
don't
first on
understand
that?
your question.
Go ahead. All right. So reason he brought this one and it was pretty good. He said, "Why don't obviously we go after Harborough, and we can go for defensive coordinator, the one that just got fired from
Nick Fangio,
and they work together already. And I mean, to pair those two down here will be. I just want a veteran.
It would be
coach.
monster. It would be monster.
I want.
But what are the odds? What are the odds we get a veteran head coach?
I think it's high, man. Steven
That
is.
mean the pressure is on.
I mean,
if we
look.
get a head coach.
Here's my problem. I haven't seen enough evidence that they are going after somebody like Doug Peterson or Jim Caldwell. They haven't even requested an interview with. Well, you
They
wouldn't
probably
see
already spoke
Caldwell.
to him. He was in the building already. They don't need it.
You don't need to ask for an interview with Caldwell.
Yeah.
Right. Plus, he was already in the building before, so they already pretty much know what the deal with him.
I say we just stick with Boyer and give them that LT secret sauce, all that defensive front, bro, and then tell Tua to stick some needles up his ass.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. I want to throw a hot take at you guys, and I said this yesterday on our show. The coaching hire is probably going to be announced on Monday. I'm just giving you guys a heads up right now.
I agree, Batman. It's got to be before the Senior Bowl. No, it's got to be before the Senior Bowl. That's why.
Because I think it's because of what y'all were talking about
Is
earlier.
your name Batman Estefan? No, it's not. Thank you, Batman. Go ahead.
Just a gut feeling. All signs point right now. All signs point that we are going to sign Harborough, especially with him. I think it was you that mentioned it yesterday, Steven.
Thank you, Batman.
And with the whole looking for houses in Miami. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, who wouldn't want to buy a house in Miami?" But listen,
you're not buying property down here if you live if you coach.
And I mean, he hasn't bought property in Miami yet. He's been rich forever. Why he ain't bought it?
What I was trying to say, Steven, was the guy on this panel. I don't remember who it was that said that he talked to Chris Greer, and Greer said that everything was going to be different, and this was around the timeline of the Houston game. I think that they were probably already making their way towards being out on Flo, just because of the results of the record.
But Estefan, he said
Yeah.
Flo said that. He said that Flo.
No.
No, he said Chris Greer said that, bro.
You remember that the guy said that he ran into Greer at the game, and
Oh,
he said Greer, bro.
Yeah, he said Greer. He said he ran into Greer at the game. And he goes, "We'll be ready next season," and that was like a couple games ago. Like 5-6 games.
Damn, Steven. You heard when you talked to Flo was like, we're gonna be better next year because my ass is getting fired.
I cannot wait till we hire a new coach who is competent, so y'all can stop crying over Adam Flogase.
That's a loaded comment.
Yeah,
because you're expecting
you're
Dolphins
right.
to do the right thing.
And you know what?
Gentlemen.
Turn the screws.
Pete is on here. What's up, Pete?
What's up, Pete?
What's going on, everybody?
man.
I'm here to
This
steal
sound about
the
to get
floor.
hot. If Harbaugh gets hired
I'm
on Monday, he better be winning at least 11 games minimum, or he's out the door.
Pete, the chat.
Crypto 12 or 13.
Hey, Pete, chat.
Yes, 12 or 13 games. He's a superstar coach. He's got to win it.
Pete, the chat wants to know if you're a Dolphins fan, Pete. They want to know that, Pete.
The chat.
We know that you are, Pete. We know that you are. The chat wants to know.
I'm such a Dolphin fan. I'm gonna ease some minds right now, okay? Because I gotta be honest. I caught the X's and O's today when I finished, and Omar Kelly, I gotta give it to him. Look, anybody in this community that tries to tell me that Greer does not have the full control power and Flores had any say, I'm gonna end it right here. When we hired Adam Gase, he had control personnel. That was in what? When did we hire Adam Gase? He had personnel control and he had some say. He was hired here as a coach to lead Tannehill to bring back his career, something that we were hoping for in Tannehill. That was his goal. That was the plan with Gase. Listen to me clearly. That fails miserably. We move on to Coach Flores into a tank job. Coach Flores has been the puppet from the beginning. This is what I'm trying to explain to people. Don't feel bad for Flores or anything. This has been part of the plan, and all the blame is going to go on Flores, and it's part of the plan that Stephen Ross even told us in an interview 3 years ago when he hired Flores. And it's unreal how it actually unfolded the way he unfolded it, but our expectations were higher based on what our fandom wanted to believe. But at the end of the day, this has always been a collaborative plan between Greer and Ross. And it's happening right in front of our eyes to get a
Pete, did you go
Even his internet, though, he was saying foolishness.
Greer looks like a demon, bro. I think he's evil.
Oh, God. Getting into that
So,
now.
Pete, that doesn't answer the question. Are you a Dolphins fan?
No. What
Pete's
you guys
a
are not
Dolphins
understanding. Well, look, this is the thing.
You're getting cut off, Pete. You got to pull over.
I think somebody's calling Pete.
To uprise.
So we'll cut his internet work.
Pete,
Okay,
your
can you guys
phone's
hear
not
me?
working, Pete.
Yeah, we
was
hear
somebody
you.
Can you guys
calling
hear
you
me now?
Pete's
Oh
got
yeah,
the
so
I
this
hear you
is
loud
what I
and
was
clear.
saying real quick. This is what I was saying real quick. We have to remember that two coaches, even though they were first time head coaches, and we don't want that anymore, and we hate that narrative already. These two first time head coaches had different paths. One had to successfully rebuild the quarterback in Tannehill, and Flores had to be the scapegoat and dummy on this tank job because Ross clearly said it. We're gonna continue to get a young roster, cut the the old talent, and then what really ended up happening? You see, people forget things real quick. When that happened, what is gonna happen into a locker room when you're looking like you're getting rid of your best players? You see, I go back to the Laramie Tunzel when we traded Laramie Tunzel. Do you guys not remember that we traded Laramie Tunzel? Do you guys actually believe Flores had anything to do with trading a Laramie Tunzel, a cornerstone franchise player? This is like giving Nick Culley, listen to what I'm telling you, Nick Culley the power to trade Deshaun Watson. Does that make any sense? No,
Pete,
it doesn't.
What are you
No,
trying
it
to say?
What are you trying to say? Yeah.
What are you trying to say?
So the narrative that I'm killing here is, like I said from the beginning, The person that has the power in this organization is Christopher Greer. It was never Flores. All you Tua guys that are trying to portray this and that Flores was a bad this, bad that, or anything that Flores had say here, understand that he never really had total say. He was the yes man here. They're putting the blame on him now because
Yes and
he
no,
was the
Pete. I mean,
scapegoat. He was the
There
scapegoat
is
to this building
there
plan.
is no such narrative that is being
Actually, there
reported
is.
anywhere, Pete.
Yeah, it
about
is.
that. Where?
Actually, that was part of the. That's what I heard. That the last discussion they had was, an argument sparked because Flo was actually asking for more control of the team.
Flo was at you.
No, but
You're
Yeah.
contradicting what Pete said. They were
No, I'm not.
asking for more.
I'm actually. It actually lines up with what Pete said,
You
bro.
got it. You got it.
Pete
No.
is saying that Greer had ultimate control. I mean, that
Exactly, bro. So if Flo's going and asking Ross, I need more control, and they have a disagreement, that lines up with what Pete's telling you, bro.
And let me open up your eyes a little bit more, Steven, since you're not really understanding. Think
Yeah, he's
about
not
this for a
understanding.
second. Think about this for a second. I just broke it down a little bit. Think about Nick Cully having to trade Deshaun Watson. That's never going to happen as a first-time coach. They're not going to give him that power. It has to be the GM. Whoever's trying to talk, give me a second here. Give me a second here, John. When you think about Coach Flores, how are they giving him the power to do any big move? They blamed him for Minka Fitzpatrick. They blamed him for Tunzel. Why do you think they're blaming Flores? Because the organization was heading to a turnover disaster. It was heading to losing. We weren't going to win. Think about it.
Who is responsible for Flowers then leaving? For getting him thrown off the team?
Flores.
So
Chris
how are
Greer.
you going to say Chris Greer is responsible for that? If he was all in control, Flores doesn't. Flowers
And what
doesn't
about the O line that went to the Raiders and he was a stud?
Yeah,
Illuminor.
The Limnor. I mean, I don't think that. Was that Greer? Was that Flo?
Bernard Hooker McKinney.
Another one.
Let's keep going.
Let me ask you guys a question. I just saw the list that came out of.
You guys really don't understand what's
the
going
highest rated Dolphins.
That's because those are roster changes at the time that they're on the roster. Of course, it's going to be Flo.
I just saw a list of the PFF's highest graded Dolphins for 2021, and number one on the list is Zach Zeller, and I'm
2021,
and I'm thinking this guy's he's under contract for I think $2 million for this season, and this guy obviously when he's on the field, man, he's a monster. How do you guys feel about giving him a contract extension with it through the season? How do you guys feel about that? Like giving him a couple more years?
Let's just see
I love Seiler. I think.
Let's just see who our first head coach is, and then.
Yeah, I think right now the projection needs to be, or not the projection. The focus needs to be who's going to lead this team next year. I like what Batman said a little bit ago. He thinks that there'll be a head coach named by Monday. I'm not as optimistic that that'll be the case, but
it's going to happen. But it's going to happen.
I would like to see it.
I'll be so happy. So
breaking news: Vance Joseph has been hired as the head coach of the Miami Dolphins.
Okay, then we're going to be depressed on Monday.
This man said Vance Joseph.
Boy, let that happen. Boy, I would.
Hey, Crypto, I'll take Vance Joseph as long as it has nothing to do with Tua.
I am not coming on the panel if we get Vance Joseph.
Let me ask you a question, I want to ask the Watsoneers. I want to ask Watsoneers a question because, at the end of the day, we all support. Well, I can't say we all support. But
who's a Watsoneer?
You and Pete.
Who's a Watsoneer?
Because you should change your name to Watson. I mean, you just don't stop talking about this guy. So listen, I have a question. If Watson,
you should change your name to Tua.
If Watson goes somewhere else, what is your contingency plan for the both of you?
No, I want to hear from Estefan. If Watson, great question, sir. Amazing question. Question of the day. Estefan, if Watson goes somewhere else.
What was this question?
Watson goes somewhere else.
What are the Dolphins going to do? What is the Dolphins' contingency plan?
I already said it earlier. Any upgrade in free agency, big fish that you can land. If not that, you can continue with Tua. What you do is you get as many draft picks as you can, and you move up and you get Pickett, make Tua your backup, and then you trade his ass. How about that, Batman?
Batman.
I mean, it was
Batman, you
cute,
should
but it's
know
not gonna
Esther.
He
happen.
don't like it.
thought he had. I
You should
thought he
change
had.
your name to Tua, Batman.
I
Did
thought.
you
I
see his
thought.
face? Did you see his face, bro?
That's
You
supposed
should
to
change
be
your
his
name to
face.
Tua, Batman.
You just said it doesn't matter. Sign
I'm
somebody
gonna
in free
call you
agency. What is that? Who's in free agency that we can sign? That's better than Tua.
anybody.
No, you can't say.
Anybody.
You can't say that. That's a fit. This is not a real answer.
James Winston.
Any big fish, bro.
I know you didn't go with James Winston.
Anybody but Tua, bro. Anybody.
Estefan just wants it.
Hey, you know what? You know what? Hey, why not just go get Josh Rosen, bro? At least we'll have a chance.
If we stay with Tua, Estefan, would you support the team?
That's crazy. We're
I don't
supporting
know. I might
that
have to
team
think
now,
about that, bro.
We support the team now with
No,
Tua.
he said he would. He doesn't
Speak
know.
for
He just said that he wouldn't.
My
I didn't say I
answer to your
wouldn't. I said I
question,
don't know,
Batman,
bro.
He said he
with
That's how much I really don't like this player on our team, bro.
Yeah, but
I'm being serious.
Estefan, I actually have a very difficult time respecting that decision. But
No. Listen, because I had no criticism for Tua in his first year because I understood he was a young guy coming in. But then this year comes, bro, and this is benchmark year, bro, and there's just too many excuses for this guy, bro. And the fact that anybody mentions anything about anybody else and doesn't just acknowledge that this guy has flaws, bro. You know what I mean? That makes me. I just don't. I don't want nothing to do with it.
Let me pause you, Esther. Let me pause you. Andre,
It's like y'all got blinders on, bro. Y'all got freaking Tua hats on.
Hold on, Esther. Andrevius, take yourself off mute. You are the president of the Tua fan club. Does Tua have flaws?
Yeah, I don't know who this y'all he talking
Like
about.
why?
Is.
Yeah, like I don't believe that's ever been said on my channel anyway.
Batman, I can't even see what you're trying to show us.
Most quarterback hurries allowed this season. Dolphins #1 with 236. The next was Jets at 196.
What Batman? Like, let me ask you something.
Because I hate the takes that you guys think that the O-line played really good at the end of the season.
And you know what? Let me show you the difference. You called me a Watsonite, right? Let me tell you the difference, right? Let me show you the difference. I embrace it. You Tuaneers, you guys don't like it. You guys hate being called Tuaneers. Okay, that's the difference. That lets you guys. Only you, Shaw. Only you, Shaw. I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna give it to you, Shaw. But think about everybody that gets mad because they got called a Tuaneer. Have you ever heard someone cry or complain? I'm not a Watsonite like the Tuaneers have. Think about it.
You guys are crying now.
Think about it.
You see the,
but here's
the lettering on everything. You don't know.
I ain't crying.
I just finished You see, this is the thing.
Hey,
you guys
if he does, I'm gonna spike a football in front of all of y'all.
You see, the thing is, I just finished telling you guys are fooled. You guys are actually believing this. And at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, all of the takes that you Tua guys did that hated on Coach Flores are gonna realize that the only one that was willing to keep Tua here was Flores. Your Christopher Greer and Ross flipped on their own plan. But at the end of the day, it's okay for an owner to flip. He's an owner. It's smart for Greer to follow script.
Are you really
he gets
gonna
paid from the owner.
Are you willing to say it on record that you're telling us right now that Flores wanted Tua? Are you really gonna say that?
I'm not saying
it's
Flores
come
wanted
out.
Tua.
It's come out, bro.
You're not listening.
Okay.
I said Flores wanted to stay with the plan that he was given at first. Remember, when he first got hired, he had to follow a script. This was the plan. The problem with Flores is, you know what hurt Flores? Matter of fact, deep down inside, you know what Flores' problem is, in my opinion? He has a problem of loyalty. He is too loyal. And he was too loyal to the script, and he didn't want to flip. And think about this. Imagine everything being blamed on Flores now, him screaming at people, being this. You think a person with power and say in an organization will have to flip out on bosses and other this and that? They're sabotaging Flores right in front of your guys' eyes, and you guys are not realizing it. But it's all said and done now, so I really don't want to talk about it. I'm just letting you guys know.
Look, Batman, at the end of the day, when you call me a Watsoneer, you know all I got to say, bro, is you can't talk to people like that.
No, the plan is basically, I'm not saying Flores wanted Tua. What the Flores didn't want was trade the farm for Watson. That's the plan he didn't want to. He didn't want to do.
Unacceptable.
Hey, I got love for you, Estefan.
You don't talk to people like that.
Hey, Alexander's
First
back.
off-
Let's ask him the
first off,
question.
yes.
Let's ask him the question.
Yes, so
Congratulations.
First off, let me just say this. I heard what Estefan said, and Estefan is not a real Dolphin.
Well,
Okay,
I got to put Tua right up there with.
Okay,
I got to put Tua right up there with Martin Luther King, bro. After that one, bro, oh my gosh, bro. He got the whole locker room after that speech. You can't talk to people like that, bro. I'm gonna get a T-shirt with flow on it, man. That says it's at the top. Going to say you can't talk to people like that with the picture of Flo that says the fuck I can.
I'm telling you, you make it. I'll buy it.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny, guys?
You owe to the swear jar, Estefan.
I'll pay you.
You have it.
So let me get this straight. So Tua cannot get along with Flo, okay? Which is okay, fine. But Tua can get along with Nick Saban, out of all people. Come on now, there's got to be something else behind that.
Bro, I'm here. I actually
Nick
read
Saban
that
is much more of an asshole.
I actually read that after their argument, they actually made up. Like they were cool after the argument.
Yeah, but
apparently not.
But
Someone got
you're
fired.
sitting there telling me that the relationship between Tua and Flores can't be salvaged unless Flores wanted to be a much more of a.
But why do you Tua guys come at a tree trunk trying to chop it with a butter knife, bro? I don't get this.
I'm not
where everybody's all everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, he drug tested on 4 times. Oh my gosh, he yelled at him. Oh my, you know what, bro? If you're not hiding nothing, take those damn drug tests and take those drug tests and pass them and get chewed out because it was about football at the end of the day, bro. He didn't show up, bro. Flo was chewing people out because he knew he was going to lose his job. Obviously, there was stuff.
How are you going to say show up? How are you going to say show up when you
Flo didn't lose the job because
you can't. You're telling me. Oh my, y'all have blinders on, bro.
It's a bunch of things. Listen, I've known
bro,
about
he didn't
this
lose the
for
job
months.
because he
I knew
chewed out
everything
too.
that came out for months. I just couldn't say anything. But look,
the Tennessee was.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Matt, how you gonna say that it wasn't just? I'm not gonna use the word sabotage because that's extreme. But listen, just think about it like for a second. You give this guy 2 garbage offensive coordinators, right? Then you give this man one of the worst O-lines in the history of the NFL. In the history of the NFL,
y'all were praising for a while, right?
Nobody was praising anybody. Nobody was praising anybody.
Let him finish, Pete.
You gave him 3 of the worst offensive linemen in the history of the NFL, and then obviously they played better with time. Obviously, anybody with time plays better. But how are you going to expect this man to produce on this? And I'm not making excuses, but at the end of the day, there's a bunch of things. It's not one little.
No,
it's a bunch
this
of things
sounds like an
adding up.
excuse to me. This sounds
like
like
too much excuse.
It's not an excuse, Kristalakis. It's not an excuse, bro.
Those
It's
3,
a fact.
No, bro, it's all excuses, bro. I don't care what anybody tells me. That's all excuses. At the end of the day, let me hold on. Let me tell you why it's excuses. Let me tell you why it's excuses.
2.7 seconds.
Listen. This is slant city, okay?
Come on now.
This is considered slant city. Slant city. Hold on, Alex. Slant city. This is why it's excuses. Does Devontae Parker limit the wide receiver group? Does Jalen Waddle limit the wide receiver group? We know Mike Gesicki. Don't we know Mike Gesicki limits the tight end group? We know that, right?
There's a bunch of things that keep going.
No. Wait, we know. Wait, Batman. Mike Gesicki limits the tight end room. Parker, Waddle, all these receivers, none of them limit that room.
Parker, half
quarterback.
The season, Parker, yes.
Parker does limit it because he can never stay in the field.
Yeah,
when he's on the you can say the same thing about Tua. The guy missed with a jam finger. Okay,
when he's in
a jam finger. Okay, with a jam finger. That's the worst injury you can miss a game for. So no, we're not going to complain about injuries and missing games, and we can't add Tua to that list. That's done deal. But Tua limits the quarterback room. And out of those 3 positions, which one is the most important? Quarterback. You can't use your receivers deep or anything if you can't use your quarterback.
Has limitations.
Come on, bro.
What don't you
no,
understand?
but not the most important trait. Passing limitations.
You guys are worried about his
okay, but are you trying to win a Super Bowl? Are you trying to win a Super Bowl?
Bob Greasy.
Are you trying to win a Super Bowl? Are you going to win a Super Bowl with those guys?
With a limited
bro, when Bob Rigger, look, listen, Alex. When Bob Greasy was playing football, you were able to wear glasses like Steven was wearing on the field, bro. Okay, that I'm just saying. That's
Batman,
not
let me ask you a question,
that
Batman.
football back
Hold
then
on,
was
Pete.
different.
Pete, hold on. Batman, let me ask you a question. When you watch Tua, does he meet your eye test of what a quarterback should be?
Hell
No,
no.
but he has a lot of traits that I like though. But he doesn't meet the eye test to answer your question.
Like
I
what,
think Tua has
Thank
bro?
you.
Like
a lot of talent. Tua has talent,
Yeah, he
and
has
that's the
talent.
thing y'all don't understand. This kid has talent. We have not seen his full potential be unleashed yet.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's the whole thing. You know, you guys want to sit here and judge by he threw the ball to his feet. He overthrew a receiver. He got sacked and now he's done for the year. Come on,
Because
man.
Alex,
Like
our defense,
enough of this garbage that you guys
That's what we
spew garbage
see.
out
Alex,
your
our
mouth,
That's
bro.
what we
You guys
see.
all you guys spew
is
garbage
not
We
getting
out
speak
your
what
any
we
mouth.
younger,
see.
bro.
That's
We
all
Our
it
speak what
is.
we
defense is
see.
not getting
see
any
these
younger.
tuners how they get in their
John,
feelings, bro.
John,
Batman,
John, let me
I
ask
want to
you.
know.
24
I want
years
to know
old.
those three
Come
offensive
on.
linemen, bro. No, I need you to answer that question. What three offensive linemen are garbage, bro?
Jesse Davis, Jackson,
Oh, okay.
and
What's that next one?
Eichenberg played like shit all year.
And first of all, and
Eichenberg
Batman,
did
here's the thing, Batman,
he did good enough,
you
bro.
can't sit there and tell me
He
that
did
all
good
five
enough,
Oh
linemen
bro.
are garbage.
You
Listen,
know,
Eichenberg
who
did good enough.
Joe
Nobody can tell me
Burrow's
that all five
what did
linemen
right
are
Eichenberg
tackle
do?
garbage.
is? You know who Joe Burrow's right tackle is?
Tell me.
Isaiah Prince, bro.
Listen, talented quarterbacks make
What's
everyone
The
that?
else
most
around them.
hated
Hold
Dolphin.
on,
The
What's
hold
most
on,
hated
Espa.
Dolphin.
Tua's
Talented
excuse?
quarterbacks make
Estefan, let
everyone
me ask you
around them
this:
better. And I
Has Joe
haven't seen
Burrow? Has
Tua
Joe
make
Burrow?
anyone better yet. And I've seen Tua regress, if anything. So
Did
Actually,
Joe
I don't know
Burrow
what
have
you guys are seeing.
actually made
consistency?
Matt Collins look good. He made Matt
Yeah.
Collins look better than what he is.
Listen, man, I'm done. I
That's El-
swear to
Durham
everybody, and I'm
Smite.
sorry for
He's
swearing. I'm
made
not arguing with you two guys ever again. Here's the thing.
Durham
I
Smite.
got
Durham
I got a
Smite.
hot
He
topic.
actually elevated Durham Smite.
This
He
is
elevated Matt Collins. He elevated Adam Shaheen.
bro. Tua is done over here, bro.
Let me ask you guys a
I got a
question.
question for the panel. How
Batman, I'm
would you
about to have
guys,
you take over for a minute because I can't deal with this right now.
Batman, take over, Batman?
No. Go ahead, Pete.
No, take over, Batman.
I wanted to ask a question to you guys because, I mean, at the end of the day, I know Tannehill scarred us for so many reasons because we supported this man and we thought he was going to be our potential franchise quarterback, right? So my question to you is, if we gave Tannehill so many years to give us something year after year after year after year after year, is that a reason why you don't want to go through the ups and downs with a Tua?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
only because our defense, like I said before, many a times is Super Bowl ready. They're not getting any younger, and
The
I don't
defense
want
is
us
not
to
Super Bowl
waste.
ready, Chris
Look,
Rockets. I'm sorry.
Batman.
Color,
I want to
Yes,
go
they're
can't,
ahead
not.
and
I
take
can't play
one of.
any video
I know.
football
I
stuff.
know
I'm
how,
getting
how y'all
blocked.
like to.
Are they close? Yes, they're close, but
I
they're
like.
not
Somebody
there yet.
has some bad noise in the background.
I know it's not me. I know how a
Guys,
lot
at
of
the
the
end of here's the
Tuaneers.
thing, Pete
Hold
Estefan.
on, Alex. Hold on.
I get
I
it.
know
I
how
get.
y'all
Oh, go ahead.
Tuaneers. A lot of y'all are minions of and y'all are big fans of Big I, bro.
Yeah.
Big O. I'll go and say his name. And one of the takes that he has was, "Well,
Batman, you're in charge.
I
I'll be
didn't
back.
want Florida waste the talent over here, right?"
Thank
Well,
you,
I'll tell
Steven.
you what, we do have talent on this team, and you're also going to waste the talent on this team with this quarterback. Y'all do know that, right? You have to know when to pull out of this deal with Tua. You know when you have to know when to pull the plug. And I don't know what it is, but when I said that correlation with guys that actually go to the games that are fans and people that watch it on the TV, bro, I think the people going to the stadium need to get their eyes checked, bro, because there is a common denominator on people that go to the stadium and actually watch this guy. They all fall in love with Tua and become Tuaneers, bro. I don't get
You
it,
see,
man.
Batman. Batman, I like that
Because
question.
it's just like he's a
Batman.
wholesome kid, and everyone likes a good wholesome quarterback. But he's
But
not
what does that have
Maybe
to do
because
with
seeing
having
it
anything,
having
live,
a
man?
you get to
having
see
a
it
good
really.
heart.
You're gonna
Like,
Having a
you're
good
because
gonna
heart
maybe
waste
isn't
seeing it
all the
live
talent
does
is,
not
is
mean
that
you're
we
better
going
on
to
the
talented
make the
TV.
on
playoffs.
our defense and Jalen Waddle for Tua. Come on. It
That's
goes
the
both ways. You can get rid of Flo, but at least acknowledge that you are gambling by moving on with Tua and wasting the rest of the talent that's on this team if you don't move on.
Thank you. I
that's
agree
fair.
100%.
That's a fair assessment. I'm not gonna.
I didn't waste Waddle's talent
Yeah,
if
but
he
the
helped
Big
him get
O
the rookie record.
doesn't say that on his show,
Because
bro.
because Ennis
That
because
dude
Ennis, you
that
don't
dude
get
has,
over
such
100
a
reception
homer hand
yards
for
and
Tua,
barely get
bro. And
1,000
people
receiving
listen to
yards.
his crap, bro. They
Estefan,
don't
can you
even
give
acknowledge that he's wrong.
Estefan? Can you give John a chance? Give him a chance.
Now, Ennis said, how does what was your question about Jalen Waddle, Ennis?
I say, how is he wasted Jalen Waddle Taylor, but he helped him get the rookie
Because
receiving record
I go back to the same
for rookie.
thing with Jarvis Landry. I mean, how do you get 100 plus receptions and not have over 1,000 receiving yards?
Listen,
But you just heard somebody say that they was caught telling him not to go deep, not to be too aggressive. So how is that his fault? When you see the play callers on the R22, they run the short route.
Because he's limited in terms of he doesn't. When you've only seen two.
Oh my God, y'all got this limited shit. You just heard them say that they told him not to do that. It's not because it's him.
I'm not yelling at you. I'm not doing anything. Realistically.
Because y'all saying the same stuff over and over every day. Man, get tired of this trash.
Just telling you the truth.
The truth.
Damn.
You don't like the truth, bro.
Okay, it's true. It's over. It's over. Y'all still talking about it. The season's over. He's gonna be here or he's not.
Why you ask a question, Ennis? Why you ask a question? You're getting an answer, and now you're saying that.
Somebody else asked me something, dog. Somebody else? Yeah, I thought I heard something.
So you're getting mad at an answer that you asked.
Somebody got Batman. You got something to say to
I
me?
want to ask you a question, Ennis. How do you feel?
Thank you.
Who's ideally what you would want for a quarterback,
going
for a head coach? Who would you want?
But I'm not getting that because bro, this don't affect my pocket, little boy. Anyway, what'd you say, Batman?
Who ideally would you want the Dolphins to hire as a head coach?
I want a veteran.
Yep.
I want Harbaugh or Peterson.
Yep.
Period. Dot.
That's good. Yep.
Dot. I don't care if it's Tua, Watson, Kirk Cousins. I don't care about the roster and the direction forward from the head coach.
I like that. Yeah, I want a veteran too. I'm not gonna lie.
You can like a player, you can hate a player, but damn, bashing them and talking about them every day gets old, man. It's people that want to talk about real stuff.
I don't want.
Then come up and bring it.
That's what I'm not. We can't even talk about other things, man.
Then don't talk about it. Be about it. Then don't talk about it. Be about it. What else you got? Bring those takes.
When I come,
bring those takes.
When I come down there,
bring those
takes. You had the same energy.
Bring those takes.
Like I said, when I come down there for the game next year, you make sure you have that same energy.
You going?
Don't be hiding when I'm looking for you either.
Are you seriously that? How old are you?
Let's chill, guys. Let's chill.
Yo, bro, just like I said, you heard what I said.
Listen to what I'm telling you.
You heard what I
Listen
said.
to what I'm telling you, Ennis. Listen to what I'm telling you.
You heard what I said, boy.
Listen to what I'm telling you.
What the hell?
Bring a Dolphin take. Oh, he left. He doesn't have any takes. He's just complaining because he doesn't like what he's hearing, guys. I've told you this about Ennis before on another panel. He just gets mad because he doesn't like hearing that Tua is a limited quarterback and he's limiting the rest of the team. You can't deny those facts. I don't care what anybody tells me.
Behind us talking to it, but like, bro, that's just the Dolphin verse. That's what we're going through, bro. We're just trying to get people to realize and wake up, man. That's it. Because
hey, everybody,
you know what?
everybody in the comment section, if you can't hit that like button, if you haven't subscribe to the channel, guys. Everybody hit that like button right now.
At the end of the day, if I don't trash Tua, this whole fan base will be literally trashing the offensive line, the receivers, the coordinators, the coaches. They're trash everything else. But in reality, from what I see from my team, this is my team. I'm a Dolphin fan, okay?
This is
from what I see, from what I believe, and my opinion is there's really only one player at the most important position that's limiting the full potential of where our offense can go.
Listen,
so that's where the problem starts. If anybody
saying,
disagrees with that, then I'm sorry to tell you, we can continue arguing all off season until this Tua stuff is over.
I agree. I agree with you, Pete. But the thing is,
that
what I'm trying to
offensive
figure
line
out is
trash, Pete.
why are we all fighting, man? Look, I mean, we're passionate. I know we're passionate about this team.
Stop, Andre.
We want this team.
Batman. Who is fighting?
I'm just saying, we all want this team to win, right? Can we all agree on that, right? We all want this team to win.
You do know that Robert Hunt was rated our highest.
There's 5 offensive linemen on the field. Bro. There's 5 offensive linemen on the field.
Okay, you're going to say Dieter's garbage
so
too, bro?
One of them's good.
We don't know
One
yet.
of them's good, and one of them is mediocre, and the rest are trash.
Bro,
I personally want to see Dieter at guard, left guard.
Has an awesome offensive line, bro. You got to still be able to make things work.
I get you, Estefan. I get you, Estefan. Look. Let's put
Nobody's saying that's not true, but that doesn't mean the offensive line is good either.
The division was fueled by Big O, and I really hate that triple chin SOB so much. I really do.
I'm sorry, I don't listen to him.
I don't even watch Big O that often. I watched his show like 3 times.
But my question to you guys, we can all agree that one of the priorities, if besides the quarterback apart, even if we go a different direction, can we all agree that we need to strengthen this offensive line? Can we all agree on
Yes,
that, please?
100%.
Cool.
Yes,
Okay.
agreed. That I think that.
So let's stop pretending like they're not bad.
No, I think what Pete's trying to say, and Pete, correct me if I'm wrong,
Stop
is that
pretending
when
not to have
Tua
a
has his
problem.
flaws, instead of people like the Big O show saying, yeah, Tua sucked or Tua could have been better, they attack the O line immediately and they don't put any blame on Tua. And I'm not saying you guys do that, but I'm saying there are people that do that.
Exactly. So it's okay to talk about other. Like I'm okay if you're pointing out the O line is bad, but I need to hear that Tua is bad too, from the same person that is saying these other players are bad. Because at the
I
end
can
of the
literally
day,
counter exactly what you just said by saying every time we say the O line is bad, you say Tua is the problem. It's literally the same argument in reverse.
I'll be honest with you. I think
but let me
Tua,
ask
no,
you.
hold on,
But
Pete, let me go because I gotta go. I
Go ahead.
think Tua has masked the problems. I think Tua has masked the problems of the O line with the RPO. I think he's made the O line better by masking it with the RPO. The O line is trash. There's no doubt about it. It has to be fixed. But I want to see a little bit more critical.
I'm gonna ask you a question before you leave. Before you leave, I gotta ask you this question. I'm next. I'm sorry.
Go ahead,
John.
I'm here. Go ahead.
No. Finish the take, and then people ask you the question.
No, that was my take. I mean, I'm just
Okay,
saying that.
but okay, now John, this is my question, and I want you to answer this so everybody can hear. How does Tua look in an NFL pro style offense?
Horrible, absolutely horrendous.
How does our offensive line? How does our offensive line look in a pro style NFL offense?
Slightly below average. Slightly below average.
Slightly below average.
You want me to give my honest opinion?
That's correct. Slightly below average.
It's pretty bad, Pete.
I kind of like disagree with you guys, because when we have the real NFL pro style offense, to me, based on from what I seen, when we run the ball and pull on Austin Jackson, he looks like a 20-year veteran. The guy is smooth. He is great at doing the things that he's great at. But he's great at he's great in an all-pro NFL style offense. This little RPO, when you don't know if you're gonna pass block, run block, there's a hesitant there for the offensive line.
I gotta go, guys.
There's no hesitation for the D line. There's no hesitation for the D line. Only those edges to see if they're gonna hand it off or not. But everybody else attacks. The O line doesn't know. They can't run downfield and know if it's they're running downfield to run block. How about if it's a pass? That's already a flag.
I agree with you with the RPO.
You can't assess us like that.
With the RPO, I agree. But the reason why John was saying is that we have to run it because we have to mask our offensive line being garbage. That's why we're doing it. It's not that we're running it because we're trying to make guys on the line. We have to run it because our offensive line can't hold. And that's the problem. That's the biggest issue we have. I personally, I don't like the RPO, but it works. And it works with us because of what we have on the offensive line. If we get a better offensive lineman, then we could probably run a pro style spread offense. We can. We don't know that, but let me ask you guys a question.
You don't think
against the Titans?
Honestly, Batman, I thought this was going to do from the start, man. I thought we was going to hire somebody like Chip Kelly and just have all guns blazing, man.
That's what I thought.
We was going to do that from the start.
Didn't they tell us we were going to run a spread offense?
A spread offense, yeah. They said we was going to run spread, and I was looking at Chip Kelly as being our coach.
But y'all got to understand, you can't dismiss the fact that it looks like Tua doesn't know what he's doing sometimes. Maybe he doesn't know enough of a playbook to open up a playbook. This is all limiting the offense. All of it.
It is. Because you guys love the RPO. The RPO, what did it do for us?
We didn't say we love the RPO. We have to run it, Pete. We have no choice.
But I'm going to give you the perfect example. Against the Titans,
you don't think
that's
bad weather.
It's even harder to pass block in that game.
That's what he's saying.
Look, against the Titans, Tua had a lot of good time in the pocket and clean pockets. And that was against bad weather.
No, man. The center was getting pushed right into him, man, most of that game, man. I'm telling you, it was bad.
Jesse Davis was on ice, man.
Tua played like complete trash that game. I'm not going to
forget Tua. Forget what Tua played like. We know what he played like. That offensive line played really well. against the
The
Titans.
interior was bad, and our interior has been pretty decent throughout the year. And our interior that day was bad.
You know,
Our tackles held up, but our interior was.
there were
brutal.
times where I saw Tua have so much time in a pocket and be able to throw to whoever he wanted. He just didn't.
Because everyone was in coverage, so he had nowhere to go. Yeah, that's why.
Yeah,
Nobody was getting separation.
That was blanket coverage, Pete.
Waddle wasn't running full speed. He couldn't. That field condition was trash, man. Waddle wasn't even full potential. Waddle, it's crazy.
Okay, so this is my running back room for next year.
Let's hear it.
Let me know what you guys think about it.
Duke Johnson.
Wait, Crypto, you're right on the head.
No.
Duke Johnson. But hold on, this is the next one. Hear me out. Rashad Penny and a second-round draft pick running back. I don't care what name you guys want to name. Give me a hungry, young, transcendent running back that's looking to go for it, that can do it all. And as long as he looks like he has the talent, I'm willing to give him an opportunity here in Miami. But I'm fine with Duke Johnson and Rashad Penny heading into next year.
And then what are you doing? You cutting Myles Gaskin? Not even throwing him in the end of the roster, or no?
Maybe I'll hold him to preseason training camp to see what his competition. But I've seen enough of Myles Gaskin. I'm not. I know I'll cut him at the end of the time.
I would keep Duke too, bro. But I would go get what's his name? What's his name?
That first round running back.
No, Tony Pollard, bro, from the Cowboys. I don't think we're gonna.
He's gonna be on the market because they moving off that. They moving off.
I don't think we'll get. I don't think. I really think they're gonna give our draft picks away, bro. I really do think they're moving off from Tua, bro. I think they're gonna try to get an upgrade at quarterback, a veteran, and so I don't think we're gonna be in line to get a running back. So I'd get Pollard and Duke Johnson, man. I'd keep Duke Johnson for sure.
How do you guys feel about
There's no need in getting rid of Gaskins.
Big John and me, we've been pounding the table for Mark Ingram to be a backup at least for us. How do you guys feel about that?
He's a cow. He's too old.
The thing is, man, I would go no more than 3 running backs at the most.
Yeah, you got to go Duke Johnson, Rashad Penny. I'm in love with
That's
that
my
trade.
max running back.
You guys can have whatever third running back you want.
Somebody said Rashad Penny's not leaving Seattle. Somebody put it in the comment section.
Well, yeah, that kind of worries me too because he turned it up late in the season, and I think that was dumb trying to get a good evaluation on him. But at the same time, that's pretty much why I'm in love with him because he gave me the confidence to believe that he's back from that injury. And
Is he a free agent?
Yeah, he's going to be a free agent unless they get him.
Hey guys, let's welcome Polo and Die Hard Dolphin.
Shout out to Polo and Die Hard.
Hey Pete, Esther, you see my profile pic?
I saw that Polo. I like it.
You see who we're going after? If Deshaun don't want us, anyone but Tua, this is who we getting. This is who we getting.
Hey man,
and to talk about running backs, Melvin Gordon.
Oh, Pittsburgh quarterback, another pick quarterback.
It's destined for us, my guy. It's
no
destined.
man. That previous pick quarterback, what we had was a bum. He was trash.
Let me ask you a question.
Oh,
Polo.
Dan Marino.
Oh yeah, big time.
Polo, if the Dolphins would have to move up in the draft to get him, how high would they have to go to try to snatch him?
So I've been doing this for quite a while now. So the Jets have they're not drafting a quarterback, right? We all know that the top team. So I think they would have to jump up to 5, above the Giants, because I don't know whether the Giants will keep Jones or not.
Yeah,
but if
Giants
we
and Carolina.
If we could somehow pass Jones, the Giants, I think we could draft. So I believe that we're gonna give the same amount of picks, a 2 first to move up, maybe a second. You throw in a second.
So we would have to move from 22 to 5. I think it's going to cost more than 2 first.
Man, yeah, that's a
bro. I could see them giving away the first 3 rounds, bro, to move up.
And look,
if they do that,
that's a lot.
Listen to what I'm telling you.
We all know.
Listen to what I'm telling you. If they trade that and go up to get a rookie quarterback this year, Fire Greer T-shirts will be off the shelves. In 2 seconds.
He getting fired anyway.
Sold out in seconds.
Oh, so you say he's a dead man walking anyway? He might as
well do it.
No, what I'm saying, Polo, is if he trades up to do it. Now, I don't mind the competition. Let's say every quarterback is gonna look good in
Cap's
shorts
trolling,
and a
right?
t-shirt when they start throwing. You know that, and names are gonna get hot soon. Right now, those names that people have questions, they're gonna get hot because they're gonna throw with nobody in front of them. They're gonna throw in shorts. The passes are gonna look amazing, and then they're gonna start comparing them to these names. So when that starts happening, the draft stock starts building up, and let's say one of those guys they start pounding the table for, and he slips to a Miami at 25, I wouldn't mind getting a
I'm
quarterback
gonna be
at
honest.
25.
All y'all who talking about drafting a quarterback need to check yourself into a mental institution.
Pickett's
No,
coming,
I
baby.
mean, it wouldn't.
Pickett's
I
coming.
wouldn't look. You
No,
see,
but
the
that's
guy
his
Paulie
I
opinion.
would
has.
agree with you, Andreas.
But the reason
That's his
why
opinion.
We're not drafting a
the
quarterback.
reason why I don't think we're
The
drafting
reason
anything
why
else.
At
is you
all.
need
So
therapeutic.
No,
hold on.
You need therapeutic.
Go ahead. Let Polo.
Hold on.
Let him go. Let him go. Let him go.
Look, in the past few years, how many times have we drafted an O lineman? We have drafted one in the first, one in the second, one in the third, and they don't pan out. And this mock draft has us drafting a line again,
Which is ridiculous.
we're gonna keep doing it. The cycle will never end. We have to move up. And let's be real, this is a quarterback league. We're going free agency starts. We're going straight. We're giving the top dollars to the top O linemen.
Batman, hit me up on Twitter right now. Go ahead.
Yeah, they have to. Yeah, they have to spend that money on linemen and free agency. No draft.
I'll be
no
honest,
line.
Andreas. This is the first time I've actually acknowledged the draft, bro. I got to be honest, man. Like, I'm not even thinking about the draft. I don't care for the draft. I'd rather just trade everything away and get an upgrade at the QB position with a veteran. But I believe worst case scenario, I think they're going to try to go get that kid if they can't get somebody. I'm just saying. I don't like it as much as you do. But he is a talent, man.
Crazy.
He is a
You
talent.
can't get no offensive lineman.
Watson or Pickett.
He fits the profile, man. You know, big tall kid, a big arm. You know,
Y'all talking about trading picks to move
I
up
don't
for the
want
quarterback.
no lineman
Trade
in
the
the
picks
draft.
to get the quarterback you want already.
He brings a lot more to the table than Tua.
Anybody but a lineman in the first round of that draft. Can't do that. That's the reason why this franchise is where we're at now, because we picked Jake Long over freaking Matt Ryan. That's the problem.
You see, this is the thing. You guys that are saying, "Oh, I wouldn't draft the quarterback," and a lot of you already said it quick at all. You guys got to think about what I even asked this question a few weeks ago to you guys. What is the Tua guy's backup quarterback plan? It's not going to be Brissett. He's gone. What are we going to do?
Come
so
on,
if we
Pete, you
draft the
don't love
quarterback,
Brissett no more. You soured on Brissett. You're getting a little queasy on Brissett, Pete. That don't sound like you, Pete.
Brissett was a Dolphin. I love him. He's a homegrown.
Pete, you said Brissett was better than Tua, bro.
Brissett
you're getting a little queasy, Pete. That don't sound like you, Pete.
Listen. Brissett can run an all NFL pro style offense. It's not very good, but he does it. Tua has yet to do it at a consistent level and look very good at it, even when he's had a clean pocket. So just by that, Jacoby Brissett at this point in time, it's considered a better player than Tua Tagovailoa, whether you guys want to agree with it or not. But at the end of the day, someone was drafted top 5 and gets a little priority over the guy that was not drafted here, and he's just a backup his career. You guys got to remember, there's levels to this. There's weights to this.
One of those quarterbacks went 8-4, and one went 1-4.
It doesn't but at the end of the day, I ask you again.
Yeah.
One is limited, the other one isn't. That's it. It's just that simple. That's just what I'm gonna tell you.
Jacoby Brissett is limited. It's called he just doesn't have the talent.
I never said Jacoby Brissett. You see, we could go back to the Josh Rosen days. You see, people argued and fought with me like you see, remember the Josh Rosen days? People argued and fought with me like I said he was ever a great elite franchise quarterback. He was just that's the person we were looking forward to be our franchise quarterback as a fan. What happened to those guys that hated on Rosen, that never even got to see him in a Dolphin uniform and were bashing and hating on him, but yet said their evaluation was correct, so it's all good?
Pete,
but yet we can't do the same. Hold on. I know. But yet it's not okay to do the same with Tua. He's some sort of left arm of God. He's different. No, bro. Keep that same energy when I come out here.
Hey, Alexander,
Keep that same energy.
I got a bone to pick with you, Alexander.
I love you so much.
Uh-oh.
Oh
Give me a
my!
second. I got a customer. Give me a second. I got a
All
customer.
right.
Oh my God! It's got
Because you talking about Tua got talent. I'm trying to figure out what talent that is.
We haven't given a diehard Dolphin a chance. He jumped on a little bit ago.
No, I'm just listening to him, man.
All right, hey. So what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do final thoughts of the day. It's been a long show. I do want to thank D-Dub for coming out for Throwback Thursday. It was a great conversation. If you missed it in the beginning, first hour and a half of the show, we went through the history of the Dolphins. In the last hour and a half of the show here, we've done a Dolphin chat, which has been a lot of fun. Shout out to Batman 2423, Miami Sports Fanatics Show, holding down the fort. I had to step away for a minute, but you did a great job, man.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
There was no fighting with you on, so it was all good.
Well,
he's a peacemaker.
There was a little fighting.
Anytime an argument was going to break out, he would say, "You can't talk to people like that."
This is what? No, what does Ep say? This is
unacceptable.
This is unacceptable. It's
We gotta
unacceptable.
Gotta get that soundbite, man. That's.
It is. It's great. It's unacceptable.
I'll go first, man. I'll go first. Yeah, man. I got love for everybody on the panel, everybody that was on here today, everybody in the chat, including you, Batman. Even though you think I don't, I love you, bro. But bro. Look, man. At the end of the day, we're all Dolphin fans, and we're all trying to process this, and we don't like being in limbo. So the sooner we get a coach, the better. I believe Batman's right. I think that they should have somebody lined up, because if they don't, I'm really going to be pissed if they don't have somebody ready to go by next week. So that's the benchmark for me for it to happen soon. Other than that, bro, I'll see y'all later. And Batman, you can't talk to people like that. Tua's my hero. He's right up there with Martin Luther King and those locker room friends.
All right, that's good.
He's too much. He is way too much, man. I love that guy. All right, let's go to Polo.
I actually changed my coaching decision. I said I wanted Peterson, but I kind of now want McDaniels after finding out some info about him. Also,
he's the up and coming. Real quick, Polo,
like
he's the
McDaniels.
up and coming name. There's a lot of people that like him. My issue, and I go back to it, I don't know if I want a first time head coach who doesn't know how to make he's young. I mean, what type of coaching staff is he going to bring in? We know that is an important part of this. And we've also stated for the record that any success we've had in our history has come from a coach that was a former head coach somewhere else first. And
like Wannstedt and Johnny Johnson
and Don Shula,
If I'm not mistaken, didn't GMs used to help coaches with coaching staff, like to build a coaching staff? What happened to that?
They did. They used to, yeah.
But where is Chris Greer been for the last 20 years with Miami?
I mean, because I've been doing research, right? And I've been looking for like a good O-line coach. And Mike Munchak, ever since Vic Fangio been fired, he's available. Like, if we do get a first-year head coach, it's up to Greer to help that first-year head coach, I think.
Yeah, if he's gonna go with the first year.
You bring up a good point. My issue is I would rather take my chances on. Let's bring in Caldwell. Let's bring in Doug Peterson, and let these guys who can develop their own coaching staff, bring in their own people, take the foundation of what we built with this roster already and the $72 million that we have and go from there. That, I think, is the most effective way to turn this team around right now.
Understood. All right, so one last thing. It's either Deshaun or Pickett. Love this morning show. Thank you, Steven. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate it, man.
Yeah, good job, Polo.
Hey, real quick, guys, I gotta get off because I got a customer, but I just want to say thank you very much, D, and I appreciate everything here. You guys have been best, and I'm just all about the Dolphins. That's all it is. God bless every single one of you guys.
All right, Alexander. Love you, brother. Be good, man.
Great day.
Okay. All right. Let's go to Bry Adam Flogase, Andrevius.
Hi guys. I don't really have thoughts. It was just arguing about foolishness all day. Oh, my thought is if we draft a quarterback, I'm gonna be like Esther. I don't know if I can support this team anymore. That's stupid. That's backwards. Sorry, Paul. That doesn't make any sense. That is the most backwards thing we could do as an organization right now is draft a quarterback. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
I'm with that too. Yeah.
By the way,
No, y'all have a go.
I for the record, I do like Kenny Pickett a lot, but you're not getting him where we're at 20 whatever. And I don't want to start all over again.
That's a complete restart.
But I do like Kenny Pickett. I just want to throw that out there. I don't hate.
Is he that good? Is he that good?
I think Kenny Pickett's really
No.
good, but I don't think he's
Is he
better
worth
than
the 20th pick?
No, he's not. He's not.
He's so good that all the draft analysts say this is like the worst quarterback class in years.
I mean,
that's how good he is.
I'm just telling you what I think, but I don't want him. I don't want him. I do.
That's
like
a reset right there.
That's a complete reset if they go quarterback.
Again, it's not where Miami needs to go. I like the kid. Don't think he needs to be in Miami.
Yeah. All right. Y'all have a good one.
Bye, Felicia.
All right.
All right. Crypto.
Yeah. The merry-go-round of the Dolphins. Like I was saying, hashtag Dolphin Olympics 2026. I'm on board. I think I'm going to be on the bobsledding edition of it because we're always sliding backwards.
Crypto, we are the bobsled team. We are the one Batman, Steven, and Crypto. Yes,
he's going to be the Dolphins edition. I'm the new head coach. I favor Caldwell, but I'm open for the guy, the Rams assistant, offensive coaching assistant that they was looking at too, because he's a part of McVay's staff, and that's a pretty good offensive staff they got. So I'm open for that too, even though it's first year, it will be, him being the first year guy. But if we go with the first year, he's my top pick. But if we don't, then it's going to be Caldwell as far as my top pick. But they're going to disappoint us, and they're going to select Vance Joseph. He's going to be announced Monday morning at 8:53 a.m. in the morning.
Boy, you real specific, Crypto. Real specific.
Yeah, he's going to be announced. They're going to
Vance Joseph is going to be announced at 8:53 a.m. in the morning.
Yep. Look forward to that press conference. Hey,
Crypto, man, don't forget to hit me up, bro. We got it so we can talk
I
about
added you and Batman on my my Twitter so I can get you guys hooked up with your Bitcoin account so you can receive Bitcoin donations and stuff.
Yeah, man, I'm definitely in with that. So hit me up.
Yeah.
Be easy, man. I'll let you go, Crypto.
All right.
All right, man. Diehard Dolphin.
What's going on, Steve?
How y'all doing, man? How are you?
First time on the panel. Big fan.
Did you like it? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was cool. Real cool.
Man,
I'm out of Memphis, Tennessee, man. I've been a Dolphin fan about 32 years.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, I mean, so I be listening to y'all like every morning. You know what I'm saying? And I agree with a lot of stuff being said, and I disagree with a lot of stuff as well. But that's just the passing of the game. You know what I'm saying? But I love the Dolphins. Been with these folks forever. And see, I listen to like a lot of people, especially like the Tour near fans.
Mm-hmm.
I hate even saying that word because it's just the simple fact that they can't be realistic enough to see that if the quarterback is actually, not so much the problem, but he's not the solution either. It's like they so in love with him that they can't see nothing else versus this ain't like the first or second year removed from Dan Marino. We 20 years at this. So, people tired and exhausted. They want to see something right now. And I think Watson bring it. I even wouldn't mind the fact of seeing Watson and Tua battle it out so Tua can see how much work he do need. And you know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I love the show, love listening to you guys. And like I said, I check in every morning. I'll be the one that Pamela always kind of read my comments. Yeah, that's me. But like I love you
Pamela's
guys.
the best. Miss Pamela.
Yeah, that's my girl too, man. That's my girl. So, and she do be reading my comments. So,
hey, diehard Dolphin, you sound just like my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law is from Mississippi, and you sound just like him. Man. It's eerie how much you sound like him.
Which, see, that's what it is. Then in Memphis, we didn't have Tennessee Titans back in the day when I selected my team.
That's right.
And
you had the Dolphins.
Well, now it's a lot of Cowboy fans and a lot of Pittsburgh fans up here, and I just didn't want to inherit my team. I actually was pretty close to being a San Francisco fan, but when he got that blindside hit, I had to go back to the drawing board. And I stumbled upon a Dan Marino card. It was like in '89. I went up at 8 years old.
I read the back of the card, love the boy stats. I said, this is my team. And all the Cowboy fans and Pittsburgh fans I done grew up around, they done push me closer and closer to the Dolphins every day. So
Because I love it. That is a great story, man. That is a great story. I love that story.
That's why I call myself Die Hard Dolphin. I mean, that's on everything it's on everything I do. It's on my car, got it on license plate. It's on my Twitter page. I mean, it's everywhere I go. Die Hard Dolphin.
Dude, don't come back and hang out with us again, man. I enjoyed having you.
I will. Y'all have a good one. Fans up.
You too, man. Fans up. All right, for those of you who don't know, Batman 2423 is one of the best in the business. Batman, I enjoyed having you. You got to host a little bit of Clock Blockers this morning. That's crazy.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I don't get usually days off from work, but I get one a week, and I try. But I appreciate giving me the opportunity, Steven. I appreciate that.
Hey, man, I appreciate you being able to. I trust you, man. I trust you. That's what it is. It's that trust. I see how you've been doing on your channel and how you've been doing it, and you're really, really good at what you do. And you're the man, brother. Final thoughts of the day for you.
Great show. Throwback Thursdays. Actually, a lot of people complain, but I love Throwback Thursdays because you get some insight of fans that have been fans for years, man. And
D-Dub knows his stuff. D-Dub knows his stuff, man.
I love it. I love it. I love that passion that he talks. When he talks, you want to just run through a wall with him, you know. But great show. Appreciate it. Let's see how things unfold. On Monday or sometime in the future with the Dolphins. I'm crossing my fingers. There's a lot of things piling up that I'm hearing, and people keep texting me and giving me info. Like I said, man, all signs for now, at least from what I'm hearing, is that Harbaugh will be the coach sometime next week, maybe even as early as Monday. But much love, Steven. Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody. And fins up.
You're the man, Batman. Be easy, buddy. I'll talk to you in a few. All right, this is Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show. Got to hang out, got to have a good time this morning. We did a little bit of everything. We did Throwback Thursday. We did a Fins fan panel. No pun intended to Larry. Although I heard Larry just had some breaking news on his channel. I'm going to have to hit him up, see exactly what's going on. But just so y'all know, I love each and every single one of y'all. Y'all the best fans in the world. I could not do this without y'all. Thank you to everybody who donated today to the donation, as well as hit the like button and all that fun stuff. You guys go into the description of this and you will see links to donate through Cash App and PayPal, which are less fees. If you guys want to donate through Cash App and PayPal, it's greatly appreciated. Hit the replay button on this thing. Send it to fans. Keep on watching it. Can't grow without y'all. So just remember that. Tomorrow is Spread Kindness Friday. My man Cameron from East 32 Dolphins Tailgate is going to be co-hosting with me in the morning. We're going to have a great time tomorrow on Spread Kindness Friday. And, it's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure you guys do that. Hit the like button on your way out of here. I love you all. Y'all the best fans in the world. And I will see y'all tomorrow right here on Miami Sports Music's podcast network, #1 Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers. See y'all later. Peace.